Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
Agreement by which we can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right
to live? Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks. Today we are back with another interesting topic. But y'all know how we do it over here at the Roger Report Live. That's all we gonna do is the interesting stuff. We ain't doing none of the other stuff. Just the interesting stuff. And it's gonna probably get a little wild today. A little wild. We're going to talk about LeBron, white guys, and Memphis on a random Thursday, y'all. LeBron, the white guys, and Memphis on a random Thursday. That's what the subject is today. That's what the subject is today. LeBron out here talking. He talking, y'all. He talking. And people is watching, okay? But before we get into this, first of all, I want to say shout out to all my people who listen on a regular basis. Shout out to all y'all. Appreciate y'all big time. Appreciate y'all big time. And that's real talk. That's real talk. You know, y'all make up the fam around here. Shout out to all the people who hype me up every chance you get. I know you can't do it every time, but as long as you do it every time you can, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream. You know, it helps with the algorithm. All these things help the platform out, and I definitely appreciate it. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty and become financial contributors to the stream. Y'all allow me to do things I wouldn't be able to do without you, and allow me to put on a better show for you. And I appreciate that. And that's real talk, y'all. So we gonna get into this, man. We got Well, let me say, first of all, shout out to the people who already check in. It's always great that when you start a show that you see a few people checking in with you. Y'all know how it go. But, of course, there can only be one. So I want to give a shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. My main man, believe it or not, I thought it was somebody else, but it actually is Shark Sims is in the bill. See, I thought that was hot sauce. I thought it was, but it's actually Shark Sims. Shout out to you, Shark. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Shout out to hot sauce coming in right after. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. What's good, my brother? Shout out to Floyd Thompson in the building checking in. Yay. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. My main man, Trey Bentley, is in the house representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. My main man, Inspired Truth Broadcast, is in the building. Great to see you. Great to see you. We got Hero for Hire checking in. Great to have you, brother. Boot Camp is at the cool table. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Music Man 1982 is in the house. Superstar Jay Quick is also here. Great to see you. Great to see you, man. The Great Black Reset obviously is feeling a little under the weather based on his comment. He's feeling a little under the weather, but but I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, I'm reading your comment, brother. You must be sick. You must be sick. Shout out to Afro Merchant. Great to see you, my brother. Mr. GQ Smooth, what's happening? What's happening? Glad to have you. Glad to have you. And Y Skinner Man Cave is in the building. Y'all know it's about to be great. Y'all know it's about to be great. Y'all, look. And shout out to Mr. Shug to you, representing for the excuse me. Representing for the pit crew, Mr. Shug to you is in the building. Glad to have you, brother. Glad to have you. All right, shout out to the pit crew, Mr. Shug to you, J Dub. You know, our main man, Chef Mike's Roundtable. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Man, we about to get into this, y'all. You know, I didn't even think it was that big a deal when I first saw it. And I was like, nah, this one's gonna get a little traction. This one's gonna get a little. I'm gonna have to say something about this one. I'm gonna have to say something about this one, y'all. We got the one, the only, a top 5 of all-time NBA player. I think that's safe to say, a top 5 guy. Okay, we know he ain't number 1. I won't say he's number 2. You know, I got to think about Kareem and things like that. You know. Not necessarily even the number 3, you know, it starts to get into a debate, but I'm gonna say it's safe to say LeBron James is the top 5. He's a top 5 guy for anybody who watches the NBA. I believe that's safe. Okay, I believe that's a safe place to put him. I think a lot of people who watch the NBA, or at least the most people who watch the NBA, will say he's a top 5 player of all time. So we got a top 5 guy. They went out to golf. He went to golf, man. That's what he did, man. He went on somebody's YouTube channel, and they did a little bit of golfing. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Man said he's 40 years old. He wanted to pick up something he wasn't no good at, and then he went into golfing. As if I didn't know that man was going to be golfing 10, 15 years ago. I knew he was going to be a golfer. I mean, come on now. A lot of NBA players move, you know, some top guys have been known to go golfing. So I know he was going to do it as well. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, okay. Okay. We got a top 5 NBA player. Okay. Shout out to Great Black Reset. Shout out to Great Black Reset. My bad, brother. My bad. He said, Roger telling false narratives already. I guess the Great Black Reset doesn't believe LeBron is a top 5 player. I guess that's what that's supposed to mean. Because I thought it was safe to say he's a top 5 player because I don't want everybody debating about his position. I thought we could at least say he a top 5 guy. I thought that would be okay. But it seems like the Great Black Reset might have a problem with that, though. He might have a problem with that. But I thought we could at least just put him as a top. Okay, you know what, Great Black Reset? Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, a top 10 player. Okay, let's do this. I don't want people arguing about his position. So we'll say he a top 10 player. Okay. All right. A top 10 player in NBA history was out there golfing. Okay. He was out there golfing. And he made some comments. Okay. And some people felt a certain kind of way about it. Some people took it a certain kind of way. And then, as you can see, there's people who taking position based on who's taking it what way. Okay? There's people taking position on who's taking it what way. Ooh. But I guess there's a lot to say in this. Okay? We got an NBA team in Memphis. And, it took a long time. All right? It took a long time to get an NBA team in Memphis. Yeah, it took a long time to get an NBA team in Memphis. If my memory's right, way back in the day, they might have had a squad. They might have had a squad I'm talking about way back in the day when the NBA first started. They may have had somebody down there. The Jazz may have used to play in Memphis. Okay, don't quote me yet. I have to look that up. But the Jazz may have played in Memphis back in the day. I'm not 100% sure right now. But remember y'all, the team that's playing there now, they came in the NBA about 95, 96, I think it was. They did an expansion in 95, 96, and they went into Canada. They were the Vancouver Grizzlies. Okay, they were the Vancouver Grizzlies. So, it took them a while to get to where they at. All right. So when people say, well, you know what, it took us a while to get there. So, I mean, don't say move our team. I kind of understand. I understand that. I definitely understand. Okay, real talk. I definitely understand. Shout out to the Great Black Reset, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with him right now. I don't know what's wrong with him. He say, I want my like back. Look, brother, I appreciate that. But we ain't doing no retros around here, brother. Once you get that like, it's given. Right? If you try to take, man, come on now. You can't be no quote unquote Indian giver. That's just wrong, brother. You can't disrespect our people like that to be a quote unquote Indian giver. That just ain't gonna look right. That's all I'm saying. That ain't gonna look right. And if you haven't already hit that like button, make sure you do, y'all. Make sure you do. All right. I was just trying to do what was safe, my brother. I was trying to do what was safe, and unless somebody got a problem with it, I'm gonna go with a top 10 player of all time. Okay, so we don't have to argue about his position. All right. He said a little something. Now, as y'all can see, I put a clip in of where it literally came from. I told y'all where LeBron kind of showed up in the video because it was some other stuff happening that wasn't really important for you to even see. And you go up to about the 12-minute mark, he's already given the comments. So y'all can see how it kind of came up and everything. Now, I'm not going to say LeBron don't have a right to his opinion. He does, okay? He's an active NBA player. Let's keep that real, y'all. He's an active NBA player. So, is it okay for LeBron to have an opinion about a place that he literally goes to do his job? Yeah, he can have an opinion. Okay? But as I was saying just yesterday, you got to be careful when you're working. You got to be careful where you put your opinion on who you give your opinion to. All right. It is professional in a lot of cases to not say nothing at all. That's a professional thing to do in a lot of cases. I know even myself, I've joked with people, they'll say something about how crazy they are, something like that. And I may throw a joke in, hey, I'm professional enough not to talk about you to your face. If I'm gonna talk about you, I'm professional enough to talk about you behind your back. You know what I'm saying? Now I say that as a joke, not that I'm actually be talking about people behind their back. I'm just, I just be joking, just been joking. That's all. But I've said that to people time and time again. I'm pretty sure I always will say something like that to people, from a professional setting. Yeah, I'm way too professional to talk about you in your face. But hey, LeBron doesn't play for Memphis. So it wasn't like he was taking a shot at the squad he plays for. But he has to go to Memphis from time to time, just like every other team in the NBA does. Okay? Now, I get it. He has an opinion about a team that he visits because right now his home team is the LA Lakers. He used to have a home team in Miami. Well, yeah. Let's think about that too, y'all. LeBron plays in LA right now. LA is in California. Y'all know what they say. It never rains in California. Okay. Yeah, that's what the songs say. I like the song. Shout out to Tony. All right. So that's where LeBron play. So think about this from a reasonable standpoint. So that's where LeBron lives. He lives in sunny Los Angeles, LA, or maybe some suburb of it or whatever. But that's his area. Now, LeBron, he's not a guy who's played for one team his whole career. He's moved around a little bit. So before he got to LA, he was in Cleveland. Now, it was his second time in Cleveland because, Cleveland, the Cleveland area is where he grew up because he's from Akron, as I'm sure most people know. He got drafted into the NBA where he played for Cleveland. Now, he eventually bailed on Cleveland, but he eventually came back to Cleveland because they had a good situation. I'm going to say that's my opinion on why he came back to Cleveland. They had a good situation there. He bailed on Cleveland because, when he got drafted there, he was a star. They started doing things. There can be some criticism made on the team they built around him and that they really didn't do a good job. Not all debatable, But he bailed on Cleveland after a while, went to Miami. But think about this, y'all. He went to Miami. All right. Now, he did go back to Cleveland. But in my opinion, he went back to Cleveland only because they had, Kevin Love and no, not Kevin. They had they were acquiring Kevin Love, and they had a Kyrie Irving. So boom, why not? Why would you not want to play with those guys? That's how I saw it. He saw an opportunity to get a squad that's gonna make some stuff happen, and they did because they did get a championship. Okay. Not unlike what he did with Miami. We got Chris Bosh over there, making the deal to come over to the Heat. Dwayne Wade was already there, he ain't mad with staying. It's Miami. I get it. Now, going back to Cleveland after you played for Miami, well, I think that's just love of the game, love for his city, and love of a good opportunity they had to potentially win some rings. Now, he did get one. He was a fan of Cleveland growing up. So it makes sense. But, when you start, now that he's in LA, he's now an LA person making comments about Memphis. I'm going to say this just to give him a little bit of props. So I ain't putting on no quote unquote LeBron hate. If you live in Miami for a while, and you live in LA for a while, would you say something about Memphis that could be seen as negative? Well, see, in comparison, yes, I can understand Memphis may not compare to Miami and LA. And y'all may say, well, what about the Cleveland thing? Well, Cleveland is like home to him to a certain degree. From an NBA standpoint, it was home to him. When he grew up, he was rooting for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was his squad. I got to honor that. And home is just different. Okay. There's things that you'll deal with at home that you just don't want from other places. So LeBron said something about Memphis. And I do get it, y'all. I have heard multiple times when I was a kid that you just don't say certain stuff in front of white folks. Just is what it is. Okay, y'all? That's what it's been. Sometimes we talk about things, but when white people come around, kind of give it the hush hush. All right. We keep those comments to ourselves. because they white. Okay. And we can't trust what white people gonna do with their information. There's a lot of white people out here that they act real funny no matter what's going on when they get a little bit too information about what black people doing. Let's keep it real. Honestly, from a collective standpoint, white people show a lot of behavior that says they kind of need to be supervised. Just saying. Just saying. We ain't gonna say all of them doing it, but we gotta acknowledge that white people, a lot of times you don't want to give them too much information because they need to be supervised. It is what it is. So now LeBron James did something that I'm gonna say for a lot of black people was just wrong from Jump Street, because you ain't supposed to say it in front of white people. And this is the thing, Memphis, a majority black city. Therefore, look, we understand you, LeBron. We understand you. Hey, you were even a billionaire at this particular point. You done had a lot of good opportunities and made well with your opportunity. You done made it to billionaire status. But just because you a billionaire, does that mean you're supposed to say it in front of white people? So I do get that. I definitely get that. Okay? Why you gonna say it in front of white people? I don't even really think black people would have felt some kind of way had he said it on a black platform. If you'd at least been on a platform that was black, I think black people would have took it a lot better. I ain't gonna say nobody was gonna get pissed off. When you as famous as he is, and so many people gonna hear what you said, yes, somebody's gonna get pissed off no matter what. Just is what it is. Okay? But if he'd at least been on a black platform, would have came across a little bit better. All right. Now, you know, I will say the black platform you said on would also make a difference. Okay. Because as y'all can see, Matt Barnes had a little something to say about Stephen A. Smith, which I'm just gonna say realistically, had LeBron said it on Stephen A's platform, I ain't gonna say it would have looked just as bad, but a lot of folks would have took it close to the same way. I'm gonna say close to the same way. Shout out to Shark Sims. He say, damn, y'all so sensitive. Well, you know what, Shark? When you say something on a public platform, it is what it is, bro. The sensitive gonna hear you too. It's just what it is, man. The sensitive gonna hear you too. You can say it to the people that ain't sensitive, but the sensitive is gonna hear it too. Matter of fact, there's people that's so sensitive, they gonna make sure they hear it so they know how to be outraged about it. Okay. You know, there are people who love to be outraged about this, that, or that. So they're going to find a way to get that information they don't even know about to them so they can be sensitive about it. Now, that's a cold mofo. When you find a way to get information to you that you don't even know exists just so you can be sensitive about it. Now, this is the thing, y'all. Memphis is a mostly black town. All right. Do I think it's wrong with black people having any kind of pride in their city? No, not at all. Not at all. Because I'm going to tell you from a sports standpoint, if I heard what LeBron said and I live in Memphis, or Memphis is my squad, you know, maybe I live close by Memphis or something. Yeah, I ain't going to appreciate that at all. I'm just going to keep it real. I ain't going to appreciate that at all because that's my squad or that's my city, you know, or both. All right. So I ain't going to appreciate it. Just is what it is. I'm going to be thinking LeBron didn't have to say all that. He just did. I'm not saying he ain't have a right to his opinion. I'm just saying I wouldn't, if I lived there, if that was my squad, I would feel some type of way, you know? You know, sometimes people say something about the Bulls, that's would be my team. See, and I feel some kind of way. But I know it's sports. But you know what? That's my squad. I'm going to feel some kind of way. It is what it is. All right? Now, black people are the majority population in Memphis. As y'all seen in the clip that I put, say it's at 63%. Now that's a nice number. Okay. That's a nice number. You know. But I'm gonna say, now that I know exactly what's going on in Memphis, there's cities that you have some black people in certain positions, but they're not really running the show. You know? So just because you have a majority black city does not mean you have a majority of the people in charge trying to do what's best for black people. Now I'm gonna say, hey, there's nothing wrong with having pride for your city. And who wants their city talked about in a negative way? The average person doesn't want anything that they feel is theirs talked about in a negative way. No one wants that. But when you're talking about something with only so many, there's like 30 teams in the NBA right now. Somebody got to be the worst. It just is what it is. We can't remove that. Memphis could do something in the next year and be considered not the worst. And that just makes somebody else the worst. Somebody's going to always be the worst, especially when you're talking about a small number. I mean, 30, is relatively big, depending on how what you're talking about and what you're looking at. But you got 30 squads. One of them got to be the worst squad. One of them going to be the worst place to travel. Okay? One's going to have the worst food, which doesn't seem like it's Memphis because, you got a couple people shouting their food out. So shout out to all the cooks in Memphis. Somebody got to be the worst. But being the worst doesn't necessarily mean you're bad or you're terrible. We are talking about NBA folks. We're talking about multimillionaires, for the most part, traveling around from place to place to place. So saying that Memphis is the worst does not mean Memphis is necessarily bad. It's just the worst relative to the 29 other NBA cities. So I do think that should be taken into consideration. And a lot of times when you hear a statement like the one LeBron made, people will forget that. It's not saying Memphis is a horrible place. It's saying relative to the other 29 cities I play in, Memphis would come in last place for me. Okay? That doesn't make it a terrible place. But I'm going to slow down real quick because we got our first guest coming up. I'm going to let him get, oh, Lord, he got the name Black Trump. I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know what that's going to do. He kind of unpredictable, y'all. I'm going to say this. Sometimes I be trying to figure out where he going to go, and I be dead wrong. So he kind of unpredictable. I will give him that. But let's give it to Black Trump and see where he goes with this. You got it, my brother. You got it.
Salutations, Roger. I do have a problem because yesterday I was like, hey, I'm here. I was the first person. So then you erased it, and then I guess you put it up again. And then you have this Johnny Come Lately Negro from New York talking about yo. So I just want to say I don't really appreciate that because I put Roger, you should ban my black ass from this topic.
Look, I will tell you what happened. For those who,
but 1 second before that,
okay,
I need you to recognize that I was actually, in fact, the first person.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell you some sad news. He actually did beat you. See, what happened yesterday was the show I had set up for yesterday. I had it in private so people couldn't see. And I never released the show. I even started the show and the show was in private. And I didn't even catch it until, I'm doing the show and 0 people watching. So I had to scramble at the last second to reset up yesterday's show. So that's what really happened. People could see Friday's show, but they couldn't see. Well, no. People could see Thursday's show, which is today, but they could not see Wednesday's show from yesterday. So
the show you put private, who was the first person?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was you. Okay, that's probably where you were first. Yeah, when I first did it or something, maybe. Yeah. I see. You know what? It just clicked in my mind how that could have happened. My bad, brother. Yeah, you know what? I think it just clicked in my mind. I think I caused that problem. because it wasn't private at first, but once I had made it private, you probably was already in there. So I apologize, brother. That's on me. That is on me.
All right,
My bad.
so just let that New York nigga know he really wasn't first, and I'm good. We good, right? Because you say you don't endorse false narratives. It was me that Terrell Bentley. So if you can just tell the people that Johnny Come Late New York nigga was not first, that's it. You don't even have to call me the Highlander. Just let people know the truth.
Hey,
that's
man, it is what it is. You are the Highlander. So you know what? I got to say it because we going to keep it real around this joint. Right. Shout out to the actual Highlander of today's stream. My main man, Hot Sauce. He did it, man. He did it again. So it is what it is.
I appreciate it. So all y'all New York niggas know Philly will always be better. Thank you. So, okay, now let's get to the topic. So now I will my opening statement. So first, shout out to the people in the panel. Shout out to Roger. Shout out to the brothers that's going to come up later. And first and foremost, shout out to LeBron James' mom. I heard she's in therapy, learning how not to take random dick anymore. Now, first Matt Barnes, brother Matt Barnes. Before you say anything, you're not even black. So how are you gonna tell a black man about the black community when you're not even black? Black people, please listen to me. If you don't do nothing else, stop this people of color stuff. Because that allows other people to get in our business. Because I agree, you don't, okay, cool. If we ain't gonna talk stuff about white people, then let's just not talk about this. Let's keep it 100, right? People of color. See, Roger, see. Hey, I'm just gonna say this, right? So Matt Barnes, brother. Okay, I understand you have a lot of black friends. I understand you're in the league where the black people was there. Hey, I even understand a black man smashed your wife. Shout out to
Derek Fish.
Shout out to Derek Fish. Right? I know a black man even smashed your wife. You were sharing your wife with a black man. But that don't make you black, brother. So just have a seat, chill out. And you know what I mean? Right now, you know, your sons are calling that nigga stepdad right now, and she cheated on you. You need to worry about your home instead of what Stephen A's doing. Because last time I checked, Stephen A kids ain't calling the dude who your wife cheated on stepdad. So, you know, that we're gonna leave that there. Now, Trump has some things right, man. There are shithole countries and there are shithole cities. And unfortunately, this is a shithole city. And how I took it, he was just like, you know, we don't enjoy Memphis. He wasn't saying that like black people ain't shit. He was just saying, you know, Memphis ain't the spot. Right? Memphis just not the spot. And then on top of that, why are black people taking credit for the Memphis? Last time I checked, a white man owns the Memphis Grizzlies. Last time I checked, only 1% of us get into the NBA, and the NBA is becoming wider and wider as the years goes on, right? The best players right now are all non-Americans. So I get that LeBron as a top 50, maybe, but definitely a top 100 player, words take weight. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like, we need to focus on the things that matter. And a man who's only a top 50 basketball player in history, number one, wasn't saying let's move Memphis. Number two, Memphis is not owned by black people. Number three, we're losing the NBA as a way out of the hood anyway, because they're making it more and more global, and more people coming abroad, getting a shine. After Steph Curry, right? I mean, look at it. First, it was the half-breeds, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. You did it, baby. Then, after that, Giannis, European. Jokic, European. Luka, European. Right? So, I mean, if we care that much about NBA, black women, I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all kids ain't making it. And I'll leave it there for right now. But I mean, this is diabolical. We're worried about shit we don't even own.
All right. Well, this one I have to throw a disclaimer out here, y'all. The views of the Roger Report Live guests are their views and not necessarily the opinions of the Roger Report Live. Now I'm going to have to check into Matt Barnes and see what his background is, because I thought he was one of us.
No, he ain't one of us. That man is Mexican. And you know what? And you know what? This is the only time I'm going to get Jordan shine. When LeBron found out his mom was on her knees rocking the mic, LeBron James crumbled. Jordan, despite the fact he knows that nigga ain't his father, he still pushed on. And this is the only time I'm gonna give that nigga his father.
Boy, I'm just now. I what I am gonna do, because I definitely gonna factor it on something myself. Okay. The Memphis Grizzlies is not a black-owned majority NBA team. The only majority black-owned team in league history, to my understanding, has been the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the now Charlotte Hornets, not the old Charlotte Hornets, but this Charlotte Hornets that was actually the Charlotte Bobcats when they came in, and then they changed their name to the Hornets, which has nothing to do with the other franchise that was once the Charlotte Hornets. It has nothing to do with that franchise. So no, just a very small period of time, Michael Jordan was the majority owner of the Charlotte Bobcats that switched their name to the Charlotte Hornets. So different franchise, okay? That we have not had any real length of time where black folks own the majority NBA franchise, and that includes the Memphis Grizzlies. So yes, we are talking about a non-black owned team.
And Roger, and I want to just, before the other brothers get in, I'm not talking, I don't have any hate for Memphis at all. I'm just saying that black people get upset. Their energy is in the wrong spot, because at the end of the day, we don't own Memphis. We don't own Memphis Grizzlies. And yes, the black population in Memphis is majority black. But I mean, it's not like the nigga was talking about Atlanta or something like that. Come on.
Just to get that in, huh? Just to get that. All right, Bronk, you got it. You got it, Bronk. Go jump in while you can.
What up, Roger? What up, chat? What up, hot sauce? Yeah, I heard about
It's Black Trump. It's Black Trump.
It's Black Trump today. You know what? Hey, I saw that whole thing. I actually did see hot sauce comment first on that other video, because I had
Lord have mercy.
I was wondering what's going on, and I hate to back up hot sauce, but I have to this morning. Hot sauce was actually first. I saw the shit before you put the regular show up. But anyway, concerning this whole LeBron James video, man, I watched the videos that you put up, and I'm going to have to back LeBron on this. I mean, I listened to a lot of the commentary, and LeBron's not from Memphis. First and foremost, LeBron's not from Memphis. He doesn't really owe the city anything. His only connection to Memphis would have been if he, Memphis won the lottery and were able to draft him. Didn't grow up there. Doesn't have any footprint in that city whatsoever. LeBron's from Akron. And from what I do know about LeBron, the LeBron James Family Foundation does a lot for the city of Akron. I mean, I think he has a school called the I Promise School in Akron. He's partnered with, I think, Akron Public Schools through his foundation. I think he does a lot for Akron University. So when it comes to where LeBron's from, even he went back to Cleveland and brought the city of Cleveland a championship. So I'm not about to, go at LeBron and, try to take away from what he's doing for his own city because of his comments about Memphis. Nobody, if you're not from Memphis, that's not a city that anybody would want to move to, really. And I don't think, he's the type of guy that we need to be looking to for that type of advocacy. It's a basketball player at the end of the day. And he's been able to use his talent and his skill to build something for his city. So I'll land my plane there.
Okay. Interesting. And I'm gonna say shout out to Black Rule who came up, but obviously he left. I'm gonna think he don't want to be seen with you niggas. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean there is a point that LeBron doesn't necessarily owe the city of Memphis anything per se, because that's a legitimate point in a lot of people's mind. I mean, he goes to Memphis, he plays ball in Memphis. Of course, he's subject to the jock tax, so he gives Memphis taxes. Other than that, what does he really owe that particular city, which ain't his home city? It's not the team he rooted for when he was growing up. And again, y'all, we are talking about, which I think a lot of people, kind of forget the context. We're talking about an NBA player who's been playing a long time. We're talking about rich people basically going to different cities for their job. It's 30 teams. One of them has to be the worst. But does being the worst mean that it's actually bad? Okay, this hotel ain't up to the standard of maybe this other hotel that you go to. Now, I'm going to say, we saw Draymond Green speak a little bit on it. Draymond Green also plays in California. I mean, come on, man. He plays in California. California is just one of those places where everybody knows. It's, I jokingly, give the song lyrics. It never rains in California. California is a pretty nice place to be. Everybody knows this already. So when you look at it from a California perspective and then start looking at other places, it may not match up quite the same. Okay, it may, but it's not like any NBA team is going to a horrible facility at this particular point. All those teams are so rich now. Nobody's going to a bad place. Now, some place ain't going to be as good as another place, but nobody's going to a bad place. Who in the NBA is traveling to bad places? No one. But we got to be realistic about this. Now, I'm going to say if I was from the city of Memphis, no, I would probably feel some kind of way. Because you attach there's an emotional attachment, especially when you come to sports or a particular city, whatever someone views as their own, people have an emotional attachment to it. So if I'm from the city of Memphis, I'm pretty sure I would have felt some kind of way about that man's comments. But I do believe we got to remember the context. We're talking about rich people who get to go play a game over the country and make a whole bunch of money while they do it. Now, I'm not putting it down because I would love to be in a position. But this is not saying Memphis is bad. It's just saying it ain't necessarily as nice as coming to Chicago. It's not necessarily as nice as going to Utah. Not necessarily as nice as going to Miami. That doesn't mean it's bad. So I do think it's, well, at least in my opinion, it's kind of more why you say it in front of white people. Because that used to be, I don't say used to be for now. That used to be a code that we just didn't say certain things in front of white people.
Well, I will say this, Roger, if I may. LeBron, you did miscalculate a little bit because I know you want to go away to like Kobe. Niggas in Memphis ain't feeling you now. Go away to Memphis. You just messed up.
Yeah, you might not get no standing ovation in Memphis. This is gonna be pretty recent whenever he do retire. I don't know how much longer LeBron can go. I do believe he's trying to play until his son Bryce can make it into the NBA, so he can have two sons in the NBA and play with him. I believe that's what he's trying to do. But yeah, you definitely done made the farewell tour. Yeah, it's gonna be a little suspect when he playing last game in Memphis. That's gonna be a little suspect.
Yeah, I just personally think that LeBron's not really one of those super conscious brothers. You know what I mean? Like he tries to appear to be. I mean, even with him having a Malcolm X book the one time that he didn't even read a page of, I think he tries to, put himself out there to be that, but he's not that. So when LeBron says things like that in his comfort zone around these white folks, for me, when I see it, I don't really get offended by it because it's not like he's somebody who's a serious community activist, right? So I can just look at it and appreciate that he at least does something for his city that he's from. So.
Okay, we got an actual. Here you go, y'all. We got one of those in the house. One of them is in the house. He says, as a Memphian. Okay, he said, as a Memphian. So we're gonna put a little weight to this comment. My main man Trey Bentley says, as a Memphian, he could have said move to Seattle as opposed to Nashville. Him not knowing the state politics and history of the cities. Now that's a point. That is a point. And I'm going to also say the fact that he said Nashville, which in people's heart rings as a very white location. Now maybe LeBron wasn't thinking, which I doubt that he was. He probably wasn't thinking about it in those type of terms and contexts. But you said go from Memphis, which people consider black, and then go to Nashville. People consider Nashville white. So it is saying go to the opposite side. So I don't know if that was a good move to on his part to make. Just being real about it. It wasn't gonna come out good no matter what. I don't think. Because you saying leave the black spot and go to the white spot. So you being go ahead.
No, wait, no, go ahead, no.
I'm saying him being a black player, him being a quote unquote face of the NBA, those words are going to carry some weight. And I'm gonna say at 40, what is it? 40, say 41. At 41 years old, you should understand your words carry weight. You are a famous, very rich NBA player. Okay? Your words got some weight behind it. So anything you say from a public perspective, he got to dial stuff down a bit sometimes, or he got to be aware. I mean, there was a time when he was just talking regular. I'm gonna say he was talking regular because black people do get to say nigga, and I know that bothers people in different perspectives, but black people do get to say nigga. And LeBron came on a live one time. He was on a Cassinet live where he was actually over the phone. It was Cassinet, Kevin Hart, and Drewski was on the live. And he was like, what up, nigga, whatever case is. And Kevin Hart was trying to tell him, hey, no, we on live, right? We on live. Because he don't talk like that in public. You don't really hear LeBron James saying nigga in public. So obviously that's one of them things that he'll say privately based on what we saw, but he don't carry himself that way publicly. So his words has weight. So the fact that you're 41 years old, you know you're rich, you know you're famous, you know your words have weight. I do believe it is fair to criticize him that he made these comments on a white podcast. Because everybody I saw on that podcast seemed to be white. I had never seen it before. I don't follow it. I don't endorse it. But I saw what I saw, and it seemed like a bunch of white people. So I got to say, yeah, that don't look like the best place to make a comment like that. And I didn't really see context for it being brought up like that either. Now, that could have been the editing that they did, but they didn't really give a good context of why that really came up, if you ask me.
Actually, Roger, you changed my plan a little bit. Because if we're doing it like that, take it to the white side because the white side's better. And he was talking about you got Vanderbilt over there, you got NASCAR over there, traditionally white education, traditionally white sport, hockey, tradition. Yeah, it does sound bad. I mean, I'm not saying the brother was saying that, but it does come off bad. It does come off bad, and So it does look bad because it does look like you said, yeah, just put it over there because niggas don't know how to take care of shit here, right? So I do get that. I do get that because I mean, like, hey, I mean, maybe I don't know. It does look like that, and at the end of the day, LeBron does make some gaffes from time to time, like allowing his kid to play in the NBA because it's just ass. But we're all human.
Yeah, very true, very true. And I'm not gonna say LeBron meant it that way, y'all. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. I'm not saying you meant it either. I'm just saying that, I do see the point of, yeah, like the white side's better, and niggas don't know how to take care of shit, and then maybe he wasn't, maybe he just, maybe that's how people took it, and even though he didn't meant it that way, but still, it can be seen like that, just like he thought his son was a good basketball player, but really isn't.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say we can give him credit for looking at his son with dad eyes. So you know what I'm saying? we give him credit for that.
Like, it's just one of those kind of mistakes, right?
Yeah, you look at your son. That's through your dad eyes. Yeah, that's your son.
Yeah,
I get it.
He made a mistake.
Yeah. I ain't gonna mess with you for your dad eyes, but I'm just saying for regular normal people who see this comment or hear about this or whatever, what are they going to see?
Right.
And
that's
then
what I'm saying. Like normal black people in Memphis is going to see one thing. Oh, you saying that the white side is better and we don't know how to take care of shit. But on LeBron's side, he's seeing this. I hate coming here because most basketball players hate coming here. Just like he looks at his son like, oh, he can play NBA basketball, but everybody else is like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. And shout out to Inspired True Broadcast. He said half of Portland is a homeless tent city. Now I wasn't aware that the numbers are like that. I'm gonna say that. I wasn't aware the numbers are like that. But homeless people, which I agree with, they found a good place, weather-wise to be homeless. Because, I was born and raised in Chicago. If I'm homeless, I can't stay here. This place get brutal in the wintertime. So, I got to go to a nicer area. It just is what it is. So, I totally get it. But LeBron is old enough, and he should understand how his words are going to be seen by the public. And I'm not saying anybody can account for everybody, because you can't. You can't account for what everybody's going to do. But you do have to know you are a big superstar at the end of the day. You are a billionaire. Some people just know who you are just because you're that rich. Okay? Other people know you because they're NBA fans. Other folks just know you somewhere from popular culture. Your words are going to mean something. So to get on a white people platform, which whatever podcast with the podcast he was on I saw a bunch of white people. That's all I know. It's a bunch of white people. So it looked real white while you telling NBA city, hey, we should stop really working over there. Let's get this thing into a more white area. Yeah, that just ain't gonna look good. It's just not for black folks. Not for black folks. But Black Rule Strikes is back, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him get the mic. You got it, my brother?
Yeah. Roger, thanks for having me. I hope you and the gentlemen on the panel, folks in the public chat, are doing well. You know what? I'm going to read the text of LeBron's commentary on this issue before I comment. So if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
It says, so he's asked this question by one of the guys. So does the travel get worse for you, or did
he go out or he just used?
Nah, he went out. He probably reading real good. Probably really reading that too, Well, we'll let him know when he get back that we ain't heard none of that.
Now to Nashville.
There we go.
Well, Black Crew, I
He
hate
went
to
out.
tell you, but we as soon as you said, let me read this, you totally went out and none of that was heard.
Hold on one moment. Just give me one moment, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Just give, you talk amongst yourself. I'll be ready. Sure.
I was gonna say you sound fine now. You know, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to set this up so I can read it because it's going me reading this is going to inform my my response. So I just think it's important to read it. Okay, so again, do you hear me still?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay. So it starts out with one of the guys saying, ask him, I guess, so does the travel get worse? Does it wear on you more? He said, yeah, a random fucking Tuesday in Milwaukee, staying at the fucking Hyatt at 41 years old. You think I want to be doing that in Memphis on a random ass Thursday? I'm not like the first guy to ever talk about it in the NBA. Like we all, like you guys, have to move. Let's go over to Nashville. You got Vanderbilt over there. You got NASCAR. You got a stadium. Don't they got a hockey team? Then one of the guys say, yeah, Predators. Predators, like, they got everything. Doesn't like, doesn't look like, I guess one of the guys says a comment, doesn't look like LeBron's going to be on the Grizzlies anytime soon. So Grizzly fans out there, yeah, they know this is LeBron's commentary. So he shouldn't on the Grizzlies fans, people who's actually paying. Their only chance was in 2003 if they would have won the lottery. Give me that, and I might have pulled Eli Manning and not even showed up. That's what he said. So in that brief commentary, he shitted on Milwaukee. He shitted on the entire Hyatt Regency franchise. He shitted on the city of Memphis. He shitted on the Grizzlies fans in that very brief commentary. Now, here's the thing. See, we have different roles in life, different positions in life, different status in life. And depending on what our roles and status in life dictate how we should comport ourselves, particularly in public. Now, this is a guy who has declared himself to be the greatest basketball player of all time. He's been the ambassador of the league since the late, great Kobe Bryant retired. He has been the face of the league. And Kobe's predecessor was MJ. MJ's predecessor were Magic and Bird. Bird's predecessor and their predecessor was Julius Erving and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell with George Mikan. From that position, you don't do this. When you're that dude, you don't do this. You don't shit on a professional team publicly like this. You don't shit on the city like this. You don't, well, several cities, and you don't shit on the Hyatt Regency like that. The Hyatt Regency of all things caught a straight. You don't do this. Michael Jordan would never do this. Kobe would never fucking do this. Not ever. Kareem would not do this. Magic definitely would not do this. Magic does the exact opposite of this. See, this is my issue with LeBron. There's a certain point where you ascend to a level above your training and preparation. And, you know, you guys mentioned him being a billionaire, like that means something. Well, it means he's got a lot of money. It don't mean he's necessarily particularly mature or exhibit aplomb or etiquette or decorum. And this is a perfect example of him not doing so. Now I'm kind of ranting here and I'm going well beyond 3 minutes, so I'm going to back off. But that's my opening statement on this shit.
No, I honestly agree with you fully. At the end of the day, LeBron knows who he is. He's not a regular Joe in society. He's an NBA player who yes, has been the face of a league for a good period of time at this point. And it's hard to argue he wasn't clearly the face once Kobe retired. So him being in his position, he definitely should be more careful with his words. Because like I say, he'd have caught some flack had he said this on anybody's platform. But to say it on some white guys, and I'm not dissing the white guys because I don't know nothing about their platform. It's just where this happened to happen at. So I'm not even saying nothing bad about them, but they're not black. So if he was gonna say this, you definitely need to say it on a black platform. But my thing is, you kind of at a height where you really shouldn't be saying it. Period. You know.
Well, notice in my rant, I didn't mention the race thing at all, which I definitely think is relevant and will probably be a part of what I will my critique of LeBron, going forward. But notice in my rant, I didn't say anything about race. Even if Memphis was a white city, you don't do this. Like I said, he threw Milwaukee in the Hyatt Regency in there. Nobody's forcing you to play for 100 damn years in the NBA. Nobody's forcing you to do that. You're electing to do that.
It's going to be interesting to see LeBron's response.
Definitely, Black Rule, we do have our differences, but hey, man, when you're right, you're right. And that he's a nigger rich hood nigga from Akron, Ohio, and he is shitting on people, and shame on him. But but also we have to remember this: this nigga is delusional. He calls himself the greatest. So right there, we already know he's delusional, and delusional people gonna do delusional shit.
Yeah. See, and that's how I've always seen LeBron. Again, I've never really seen him as a serious public figure when it comes to activism. Again, I can just hold a healthy appreciation for what he's been able to do for the city where he's from. But it's going to be interesting to see LeBron James' response to the criticism. I think that's going to really show us a lot about who he is and what his character looks like, just through his response to all the criticism. Because I know it's going to reach him. I know it's going to reach him.
All of his ambassador predecessors came from humble beginnings. Except for Kobe. But Magic, Bird was the hick from Fritz Lick. Magic came from a working class family in East Lansing. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Dr. J, Kareem. I think maybe his father was a police, if I'm not. So maybe I guess that was middle class. But none of these people came from almost none of these people, except for Kobe, came from any sort of affluence or any sort of high training. But they know because of their position, because of the position you ascended to, you got to behave differently. You got to behave better. MJ, I can't behave like I came out of North Carolina now that I'm Michael Jordan, so to speak. My issue is not that he is a poor kid from Akron, but that once you elevate out of that environment and you assert your position as this King James and the GOAT and all of this, and you insist on playing well longer than any of your predecessors, well, that comes with a responsibility. But you're old enough to be the fathers of most of the guys in the NBA right now. That comes with a responsibility. And you can't behave like the other guys in the NBA behave.
No, I 100%. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying that LeBron, he's delusional. He has his wife and kids up there accepting awards and calling him the GOAT and things like that. I mean, he's a prima donna. He's not like his predecessors. His predecessors had fathers. His predecessors were taught etiquette and grace and let the people decide. LeBron James does not give those things.
Not that, yeah.
He comes from the hood where his mom don't know how to reject penis. and
Your mother.
that's that.
I mean, his mom even
Hold
slept
fast,
with
hold fast. Yeah, I gotta get the super chats. So when I get the super chats in, y'all gotta let me get them in because I don't want them to lose context of what this conversation is. Okay. And I'm gonna say shout out to Moan. Moan sent me a message, but I think that was more of a message to me. I'm a double take a look at what you put in that message again. But just so you know, I appreciate the cash app you sent me yesterday. Okay. He sent me something, about 4:35 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. I do appreciate it though. Shout out to Trail Bentley. He says NBA players would have loved the Memphis strip club scene had this been the 90s. No bottoms, no tops. Well, I mean, shout out to you, Trail Bentley. I appreciate the Trail Bentley tax. That may have, that could help. I ain't gonna lie, that probably could help. Because you're talking about a bunch of men at the end of the day, and a lot of those men were brothers. That definitely could have helped people's view of Memphis. And shout out to Jerome Payne. He said they should have never gave you ninjas money. What? I would say that's a fitting statement for LeBron right now. But I'm also going to say I do think the proper move for LeBron is not to say anything. He don't need to respond to this. I think LeBron done did enough damage. And honestly...
But Roger, the man asked him about travel. He didn't ask him to shit on Memphis and Milwaukee and the Hyatt Regency and the Grizzlies. The man didn't ask him to do that. He asked him, he could have just said, well, I am getting older, and a lot of times I wake up and I don't know what city I am. And because, there was a period of time where I did a lot of traveling, and those were the things, finding, decent food to eat, and especially if you're working late and waking up and not really knowing what city you're in, that kind of stuff, or even not really knowing what day of the week it is because you're traveling so much on and off planes. Yeah, there are things, especially as you get older and travel, it gets tough. He could have just said those things. He did not have to shit on any particular city, any particular team, any particular people, any particular hotel or anything. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
he was not asked to do that.
It was definitely voluntary. That's for sure. I don't know. I guess LeBron ain't gonna never endorse the Hyatt, so I don't even get what that was about. Truth be told, I mean, you're 41. I get it. It's 41-year-olds go to the Hyatt, so it sounds kind of crazy.
You know what bothers me the most about this? He justifies a lot of racist. What is very often racist white commentary about black athletes, the whole shut up and dribble thing. This was a shut up and fucking dribble moment right here. That's what this was right here.
Yeah, and it's a shame that he was not baited into it. That's why I kind of left that clip to let people know where LeBron came in on the podcast, because I wanted to see the full context of how they even got to this subject. And I'm sitting there like, LeBron, that was just totally unnecessary. Real talk.
Well, look, he was with these business people. I don't know what, gambling or whatever. It was just, I guess it was just kind of a promo for that. They're them business people. They ain't gonna shit on Memphis or anybody else. Them business people. Them are white businessmen. They are not trying to dump on nobody.
Well,
so
as
he
you
did
can
that
see,
shit all on his own.
And they quickly sidestepped it too. They quickly sidestepped it with a joke.
Because how many millions of customers they got in the greater Memphis area?
Let it be known. Hey, that's LeBron, y'all. They ain't got nothing to do with us. That's LeBron. Which I can't even blame him for, because you got to get your money from where you get your money from. So I can't even blame him. They quickly sidestepped that one. Well, I guess LeBron ain't going to
too. Again, I'm kind of reserving what I think about this racially, because I think if I were to start that part of it, I'm probably inclined to become somewhat enraged. So I think I'm intentionally, maybe subconsciously or whatever, intentionally getting into the racial part of it. But putting that aside, okay, what about the owners of the Memphis team and the fans, everybody that support that franchise? Now, that franchise pays into the NBA. Someone spent hundreds of millions, probably billions of dollars to buy that franchise. In fact, if I recall correctly, they were originally in Vancouver and they moved from Vancouver. Yeah, they moved from Vancouver, Canada to Memphis. So you bought a franchise, then you spent millions and tens of millions or hundreds of millions to build a stadium and move it to Memphis. You built up a strong, supportive fan base, you know, in a city that is not the wealthiest city in the country. It's not the most metropolitan city in the country, but from what I recall, the city of Memphis has very stoutly supported that team and that franchise. See, when you're the ambassador of the NBA, it's your responsibility to maintain that. You're not supposed to do anything to degrade that. You're not supposed to say anything to degrade that. Dr. J and them knew that. Magic and them knew that. This is a tough team. It's great. The fans are great. The fans are really tough. You know, every time we come out here to Salt Lake City, the fans are, you know, they know that.
To be fair, Magic ain't criticizing no hotel as much as.
I mean, you go. Now you go.
I guess you have a point. Let me get this in real quick. Shout out to Jerome. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. He said, I can imagine if LeBron went to the Philippines. Sometimes it's best to keep criticism to yourself. That's why he ain't the GOAT. Yeah, I said it. Well, you know what, Jerome? All I can say is you right. That's all I can say on that one, man. Sometimes it's just better to keep it to yourself. And you know what? It's gonna be hard to be viewed as the GOAT when you're doing stuff like this. And my thing is just LeBron should know better at this point. I understand, you know. See, and like you saying, Black Root, this is gonna justify people calling him a project nigga. Because if my memory's correct, LeBron used to live in the projects. But you ain't supposed to be giving people reason to call you a project nigga at 41 years old, and you rich, and you famous. Like, come on, man. You not.
Well, it ain't. Again, it's one thing to be a project nigga at 18, 19, 20. It's a whole other thing to be a billionaire with 23 years on this job and everything, and you've been everywhere all over the world, and you've been in the Olympics, been on 5 different Olympics. You have had every cosmopolitan, worldly experience an athlete could have. So again, it's one old coming into the league and saying some dumb shit. It's a whole thing being 40-some years old after all of that, not, you know, after all those experience and still saying dumb shit. That's being really dumb, in my view, especially actively dumb. And I don't even like to call a black man publicly dumb for the reasons, for fairly obvious reasons, but that's just some dumb shit for a nigga to do.
And I was gonna give the people from the project some props. I mean, being a quote unquote project nigga is a stereotype that people have to do a lot of work to get off their backs. So I'm not talking bad on anybody because you happen to come from the projects, but we know what people mean when they say stuff like that, and we know the negative connotation that comes with it. And you have to do a lot of work as a man to get that project nigga off you while you're trying to advance in the world. So yeah, it to me, it was very disappointing for LeBron to say something like this, especially on that quote unquote white platform, because I'm looking at how people are going to see this. So I do get why people got upset. Now, shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He said LeBron is getting slower. LeBron is getting slower than FedEx packages now. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. I just want FedEx to know I'm just reading the comment. So if FedEx ever want to do business with me, I ain't saying y'all slow at all. I ain't saying y'all slow. Shout out to Jerome Payne. He says LeBron could buy the place and fix it up to his liking. I think technically he could, but he can't be an NBA player and buy the team at the same time.
Let's take that point, and I'm not necessarily saying that's what he should do, but it alludes to something else. Now, you're in a league, you're in a players' union that has a deal with the NBA. The NBA has a deal with whoever owns the stadium. Who owns the team, and they have a deal with whoever owns the stadium, and maybe it's a complex of hotel, restaurants, or whatever. Sometimes all these people are the same people in terms of who owns all of this stuff. Very often they are. Now, the mature thing to do is to use your players' union. Let's say Memphis, these are real issues, right? The mature thing to do is to make it you platform it on your union, and you, as a part of your negotiation or just a part of your ongoing dealings between the union and the league. Look, this is a problem. The league need to do something about these problems, and if necessarily even make it a bargaining issue going forward into your next deal. Well, part of our bargaining deal is addressing these issues, particularly in Memphis. That's how mature people handle this, and it's not something that anybody is talking about in the public. That's how you handle business. Now, again, I don't expect the 18, 19, 20-year-old sucker coming in the league to think and talk like this. I do expect this Negro at 40-something years old to be acting like that.
I mean, good point. Good point. And also, shout out to Turkish Tyrone. He says, "Good morning, brothers. In my opinion, he wasn't picking on them. I think there are examples of two non-destination cities and non-luxury hotel he would rather not visit anymore." And
why is your responsibility to publicly say that? Both of those cities have professional basketball teams. Negro, that salary cap, that what's his contract now, 50 million, 60 million or whatever. Memphis and Milwaukee are paying into that. They're paying into that. You're not separated from Memphis. You're not separated from Milwaukee. Business people know this. 40-some-year-old business people know this.
Yeah. And I'm going to say shout out to Jay Bones for the super sticker. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Now, I'm going to say this. At the end of the day, LeBron is not new to the league. Okay? He's been in the league well past 5 years. He understands stuff about the league. He has a certain position in the league that he's been at a top position in the league since the day he showed up in the league. Let's be real about it. Everybody was looking at LeBron his rookie year to see what it was going to be like and how he's going to measure up to people previous to him coming into the league. So he's always been at the top of league issues. Now he's a 41-year-old man who's a veteran with a son in the NBA playing for the team he plays for. This ain't just some random guy talking. Now, I've used Randy Brown as an example as a guy who was on the Bulls during the championship seasons. But everybody got their own Randy Brown. There's guys on NBA teams that people in other teams don't notice that guy because we don't know their name. They don't get enough playing time. They don't do it. They don't score enough points or anything else that we really pay attention to who they are. They just some guy who filled in for a period of time. Now, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying these are lowly people. They're still NBA players at the end of the day. You, as being LeBron James and everything who you are and what you represent, you don't even make the NBA look bad like this. You, regardless of how you feel, you're talking about two NBA towns and you're a current NBA player. You are literally active on a roster. And these are NBA cities.
Now on the black thing. Now, Memphis is a black city, right? Well, the blackest, I guess, major city.
They say about 63% black right now.
So it's the blackest major city in the United States of America. Let me ask you this question. Roughly, how many black people are likely employed in direct or indirect association with the Memphis Grizzlies?
I mean, that could go to 1,000.
It could be a minimum of 1,000. Now, when I say indirect, I mean you're talking about all the suppliers.
I was saying
you're talking about all the restaurants. You're talking about all the bars. You're talking about, I mean, so many things that are going to surround that team, because that's going to be a major, if not the major, economic engine, maybe. Well, not the I mean, obviously you have FedEx.
I would say about 15% of the economy, directly and indirectly,
yes,
benefit from a sports team. 15%.
Yes,
15
and that's a good healthy number. That's a good so you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes, easily.
So when you cavalierly say, let's move the team out of Memphis to the black town, to the white town, you're talking about a wealth transfer, an income and a wealth transfer from black to white.
That is true.
So, I mean, when I think about that, how do you, as a self-respecting black man, not feel enraged by a black man of his particular, or any black man, but certainly a black man of his position? How are you not enraged by him saying that?
No, well, yeah, I'm gonna say it does hit a little different when the rich black man, especially the billionaire black man, says, "Why don't y'all just move the team elsewhere so I could lose my job?" Because I'm
and let me ask this question: what if Nashville say or Memphis, the team owners say, "Damn it, that's exactly what I wanted to do, and all I needed was this magical Negro, LeBron James, to put that out."
Yeah. LeBron inspired me to move the team, so that's what I'm doing. Because because
then also begs the question of, is what he doing here intentional?
Well, see,
let me tell you, if it happens anytime within the next 3 to 5 years, I'm coming right back to this statement, and I'm saying he was a part of the deal.
Well, see, the thing about it is, man, I don't think okay. All what was said is 100% legitimate, especially when you talk about the economy and how the economy would collapse if Memphis, if the Grizzlies moved to another place, because we're talking about probably 15% of the economy is affected by the sports team, and probably 25% if we consider the indirect benefits, the restaurants, the souvenir shops, the tourists traveling, coming from other cities to come to see the games.
The Grizzlies.
Right? Yeah. So we're talking about like 25% because the hotels and stuff like that. But I really think he didn't mean it in a malicious way. I don't buy that. I don't buy that he mean it in like, all right, you guys need to move. I just think he was complaining.
Define malicious.
Well, okay. I think he was complaining just like all the other NBA players complain about. They don't like Memphis, right? There's two destinations that they really don't like. They don't like Memphis, and they don't like playing in Canada because Canada is boring. And Toronto. Right? That's well known in the league. And I'm just thinking he was just saying stuff that's already been mentioned in the locker rooms around the league.
Well, I want to say, and I'm gonna give it to Great Black Reset. Look, I can agree with you that he may not have truly been meaning it as a malicious statement, because I don't think he said it to hurt somebody in particular. But when you start talking about how many people would be affected by it, because when you say direct and indirect, Directly for the Memphis Grizzlies, I don't know how many employees they would have, but I think a very close-knit 1,000 easy is going to be taken care of. Because if you the guy who's selling parking spaces, you know what I'm saying, because a Memphis game is going on, you're going to be instantly affected. You know, if you work for the stadium or you the person pushing certain, you know, you the hot dog vendor, that's going to affect you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be you're going to have like at least 1,000 people that's going to be directly affected if Memphis ain't there anymore. Now, how many thousand will be indirectly affected? That's huge. I mean, a truck driver could lose his job simply because he don't have alcohol to drive over and you know, so they can stock it at Memphis or something. All kind of folks could lose jobs immediately because of that piece of the economy being gone.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong because you like the hot dog guy would lose his job or his business. He would lose his business.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that has different things like that going on. So I'm thinking it's going to be at least 1,000 people hit immediately if they were to go. Now, how many people besides them going to get hit? Because it's going to affect some restaurants, you know what I'm saying, especially nearby restaurants, things like that. I'm sure it would affect some sports bars and different things like that. So how big that hit would be to me it'll take me a little time to measure that all out, but it's definitely gonna be a huge hit. But 1,000 people finna be out of a job immediately. I know that.
And don't forget the 7 or 8 baby potential bitches that become baby mamas from getting tapped.
Well,
that's easily 30 grand a month per home. So don't forget that.
But it's definitely gonna be a transference of wealth. But it is. I'm gonna say, LeBron made a comment that any random NBA player could make. Maybe if you the 8th guy on the bench, but when the 8th guy on the bench say it, it's not like LeBron saying it. That's what I'm saying. So LeBron should have known better, period. He's not the 8th guy on the bench. He ain't never been the 8th guy on the bench. He'll probably retire and not be the 8th guy on the bench. It's probably never going to happen to him. So when he says words, they're going to carry more weight than other people saying words. And he's supposed to know that and comport himself properly because of that. So, and, you know, I'm not saying it was his intention, but I'm not going to say anybody has to give him a pass either because he is 18 years old. And I've been saying for years now, the reality is when you're 18 years old, as a black man in America, especially, you need to know everything you need to know for the rest of your life at that moment. It just is what it is. You got to figure it out. But the Great Black Reset is here. You know, I'm pretty sure he wants to get something in about this particular subject. So you got the mic, my brother. You got the mic.
This is what we're doing today. This what we're doing today.
Well, we having a fun conversation about.
Yeah. This what we're doing today. I see what's going on. I don't interrupt my 2 minutes. Don't interrupt my 2 minutes. Goddamn.
I want to say.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You know, say it enough. Say it enough. I thought this was the Roger Report live. I think I came in on the wrong show. When we uplift black men. Well, we hold up black men over here. We talk well about black men over here, but for some reason, this one nigga, y'all come up here and just talk shit about him. We throw out all the rules when we talk about this nigga right here. I don't understand. Y'all just some haters, just a panel full of haters up here. Man, listen, y'all, listen. You're jumping on LeBron too quick, man. When you go looking for a house, you don't go and tell the seller of the house, this is the greatest house I ever seen.
I'm about to say, look at God.
You don't do that. When you go to a car dealership, you don't tell the salesman, what is the greatest car I ever been in my life? You don't do that. You got to talk down the value of the property that you're interested in purchasing. But Roger, in his infinite wisdom, said, man, this is the perfect time to take a shot at LeBron. to try to take him off his perch. Man, Malcolm X will be ashamed of you. Martin Luther King will be ashamed of you up here. Lord have mercy. Why we got to beat up on the black man today? In top 10? Nigga, please.
Dang, he not even
This is ridiculous. You know what? They should have shut your channel off just for this right here. You should have to go to channel number 8 after the day.
I told you, top 50.
Yeah, I thought when you said top 10 people let that ride, but I guess that ain't wasn't good enough.
And this nigga over here, this nigga went to Wharton. I thought he could count. Apparently not. Ubu is in finance. Don't you understand when somebody's talking down the value of something so they can buy it?
Bro, can you count how many dicks?
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's disrespectful. I'm renting the thing, goddammit. I can't believe this. Y'all leave my man alone. Y'all jealous. My man is setting himself up to be successful. You talking about he following Michael Jordan? Damn right. Did Michael Jordan buy a team? He just taking the blueprint and he adding a little sauce on it. You gotta talk the property down. It's in the hood. Nigga. You let them know, man, that's over there in the ghetto. Don't nobody want that. I'll take it off your hands when you get ready to sell it. Y'all leave my man alone. Let him do his thing. And stop hating on the black man. Let's uplift the great LeBron James. I'm gonna land my plane now. Damn, haters.
So I want to say something. I mean, only God can count how many dicks been in his mom's mouth. So
I don't know if it's been a lot of dicks. It might have just been one. Might just be one.
Like I said, look, when we talk about the GOAT, you gotta talk about overcoming obstacles. And this is where Jordan has an obstacle. Look, Jordan mom was out there on the blade, right? We know that because he's the only nigga 6'6", and all his family's 5'5". So we know that his DNA came somewhere else. But he did not let that stop him. LeBron had a legit meltdown when his mom was in the back getting nice. So it is what it is. One guy.
Let me take accountability.
This is a real estate purchase. This is negotiation. This is opening salvo negotiation of some purchase of real estate.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Because I got to take accountability and responsibility, y'all. Y'all, to my audience, it's my fault, y'all. I done let folks come up here and get too comfortable. and they treat it like they own the place. You know what I'm saying? So that's my bad, y'all. That's my bad. We'll have some talks after the show is over with. You know what I'm saying? To get some rules established because they treat it like it's theirs. Now I'm gonna say if LeBron buys this team a year or two after he retires, I'm gonna apologize. Real talk. Cause you know what? If that's what he was doing, I can rock with that.
I'm gonna be here for it.
Bad place to do it though. He shouldn't have did it where he did it, but if that's what he did, I understand from a money standpoint. Yeah, do it over there amongst these white folks so these white folks can hear this or whatever.
The Lakers recently sold for $10 billion, right? Or over 10 billion. I don't know, 10 or 12 or whatever $billion. The people who are who were bought into the NBA most recently, they've all paid in excess of $6, $7, $8 billion. The Mavericks, I think, changed over for like 7 or 8 billion or whatever. Like real talk, because I don't know how much you're trolling Reset versus, or being serious. There is no way that the league owners, they would kill LeBron before they let him depress the value of the Grizzlies. They will wipe him off of this earth before they allowed that to happen. So again, I don't know how much you're trolling or whatever. It sounds funny to listen to from a certain perspective, you know, like I say, maybe in the earth, you know, 2.5 scenario or whatever. But on Earth 616, like the real Earth, there is no scenario in which what you describe will happen without a lot of bloodshed. Because too many billions have been invested in that league, particularly as of late, for them to ever allow something like that to happen. Yeah. Now that's the real. That's like real. I'm not even being facetious at all. A whole lot of people will be dying before that happens, and LeBron will be one of them, likely.
And I'm gonna say this too. I don't think y'all about to see a majority black owner for a long time. Truth be told, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, and now that Michael Jordan is gone, I think y'all could just about forget it. Okay, and I'm just being real. I don't think you're gonna see another black majority owner in the NBA. I might be dead for that happen. I mean, real talk. All of us might be dead before that happens again. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Some people can get a special exception in the right circumstances. Okay, and I think because it was the right circumstances that Michael Jordan was able to pull off what he pulled off. But now that he had this, well, now that he sold for whatever his reason was that he sold, man, I think it's over with for black folks. So, you know, I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong on this. Hopefully, but I really doubt I am. I'm gonna say shout out to Landon. Landon picked up on it. He said feet all on the couch. Yep, and I'm gonna say reset footprints all on the ceilings and everything too. It ain't just the couches for him. I see him on the ceiling. I got a lot of cleaning to do. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He says he told those boys to move to Nashville so he can buy up Memphis. He's GBR and he's right. Hashtag support black franchise. Hashtag long live bitch wise devil. Hey, if he gonna get the team to move so he can buy up Memphis, I could even rock with that one. But I don't know if he has any real interest in the city of Memphis based on the way he said what he said. Because he did say what he said. It is what it is.
In supporting his move to Memphis argument, he mentioned Vanderbilt, NASCAR, and the Predators being based in Nashville. Predators are an NHL franchise. Now, what's the common theme between Vanderbilt, NASCAR, and the Predators?
They're all white.
They're seen as
super white. Fucking white. Super duper fucking white.
Y'all sound like the Braves.
This guy was promoting white supremacy in his rant, man. This guy was promoting white supremacy. You mentioned NASCAR?
That ain't Jordan in NASCAR. He following Jordan. He following Jordan. Right now, Jordan got the greatest NASCAR team in NASCAR for the season. He following Jordan.
Jordan literally went into NASCAR, went to court with them and everything to get rules changed to make it more fair for people in NASCAR. So he's literally fighting NASCAR. So, I mean,
the fact that we even talk about Michael Jordan and that, first of all, Michael Jordan had to be Michael Jordan to get an NBA team. Michael Jordan had to be Michael Jordan to get a NASCAR team. He's probably the only black person on earth who could have done both of those in one lifetime. So mentioning Michael Jordan as some reference to blackness in NASCAR is it's laughable.
Yeah, BJ Armstrong ain't got no NASCAR team.
You know, so I mean, it comes off. I mean, when you look at what he did, which was uncalled for, and then when you look at how he did it, it really comes off as being very white supremacist. It does. It just does.
Well, I really like, in all seriousness, I can't defend the fact that he's making mention of these other entities for no reason, apparently. But I do believe he's interested in buying a team. I believe that. One of the things that he said he wanted to do early in his career, he said he wants to be the wealthiest man on earth. You know, he's at least a
okay, but here's the thing. See, and sorry for interrupting you. Go on, finish your statement, because
go ahead,
this is somewhat annoying to me, because he's like Baby Huey, you know, this overly powerful child, where he gets to say stuff and move around like it's important or it means something, and it does, because he's a big and powerful person. But it's very childlike behavior, because here's the thing, Reset.
Mm-hmm.
If you intend to buy an NBA team, why on earth would you say what he's saying about an NBA franchise? You're trying to get in this club, right?
Right.
A very selective club. And you're going to shit on somebody in the city that's already in the club?
I think
nobody does that. No sane business person does that.
I think this is this is part of the problem of growing up without a father, growing up without a father figure, somebody who you can respect no matter how much money you got, somebody that can help keep you in line, somebody can help keep you even keel when it comes to doing things that you can bounce ideas off, somebody you ultimately will always respect because he's your progenitor. This is where this is lacking. This is where this is lacking. This guy, his whole career has been chasing the ghost of being Michael Jordan. This is what he's doing. This is God's honest truth. This is what he's doing. He wants to be Jordan. He wants to be known as the greatest basketball player. Michael Jordan owned the team. I believe this guy wants to own a team. I believe that. I believe he wants to do everything that Jordan did, or he wants to attempt to do it, and he wants to do it at an earlier stage in life so that he can measure up. I think that the ghost of stepping into Michael Jordan's shoes, he feels it, and the older he gets, the more he feels it, and he is making mistakes.
If you observe Michael Jordan, going back to North Carolina, I didn't have the privilege of observing him prior to that point. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan was always very respectful of his elders. He was super respectful of Dean Smith. He was super respectful of Bobby Knight. He was super respectful of John Thompson and Bill Russell and Magic Johnson. Super respectful of the people, super respectful of Jerry West. Super respectful of his male elders. And his father, I mean, we saw what happened to him when his father got killed. He retired.
But he's a different generation. LeBron is a millennial. Totally different generation, totally different set of social standards. Right?
But my point is, you can't be Michael Jordan without discounting the fact that Michael Jordan very much believed in eldership and mentorship. But you can't compete with Michael Jordan without acknowledging that.
He doesn't.
What I'm saying is, there's a shortcoming.
He doesn't need to be the same to compete with Michael Jordan, because now millennials are in their 40s and 30s. They're the major decision groups. They're the major buyers, right? Michael Jordan and his ilk of the 60s, the market. They don't matter to the market anymore, right? Because they're not the number one spenders. So, in LeBron's ilk, he can say these things because the people who spend money on jerseys, the people who spend money on tickets and stuff like that, majority are in his age bracket, 18 to 40.
And Michael Jordan and Air Jordan outsold the whole damn league of endorsements by himself. Still.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody. Look, Jordan was the first, right? So nobody's gonna outsell Jordan. But at the end of the day, LeBron James can get away with these things because this is okay under millennial social norms.
Well, I'm gonna say, to me, he didn't quite get away with it because people picked up on it. Like I saw this a while ago. I was like, okay, let me take note of that because
no. I'm talking about the respect of the people before you. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about like how Dr. J, like how Jordan always say, you can never talk about who the GOAT is because I never got the ability to compete with against Will. I never got to compete against Bob McAdoo and all these things, right? He says that. Even Kobe, when they ask Kobe who's the GOAT, he says, I don't know because you can't compete, right? LeBron James is the first to say, oh, it's me. But millennials can accept that. Gen X would not accept that from Kobe, and baby boomers would not accept that from Michael.
No, I do agree with all that. I was going to make a different point, but I'm going to slow it down because we got a guest, which I feel pretty good about. We had someone named Mr. Mouse or Mr. Moz, depending on how he pronounces it. Mr. Moss, you've just been added to the panel.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
how do you pronounce
Mr. Moss. It's
Mr. Moss.
Yeah, Mr. Moss, man.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show. You got a 2-minute uninterrupted opening statement, so you can say whatever you like. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, man, thanks for the opportunity, man. Awesome conversation. I'm here in Sacramento, California, and I cover NBA basketball for a living here in Sacramento for the Kings, and I travel often. And every time I hear LeBron James open up his mouth, I just cringe because at some point I tell myself, are you not media trained? Even if you thought that about Memphis, you don't say it out loud. I mean, for crying out loud, this is the same man who lied about reading a Malcolm X book. This is the same man who threw Kyrie Irving under the bus, right? And so he has a history of doing this, right? This is the same man who seeks attention, who said that in his mansion in Calabasas, they wrote the N-word on his fence. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's Southern California. There's video recordings all around that city. I've been there. We've never seen evidence of that. And so, again, LeBron James is going to read the room, and whatever that needs to be said in that moment to fit in, that's what he's going to do. He's not willing to go against the grain, right, and possibly have pushback and risk outrage, from his supporters. He's going to say what's on his mind to get him through that moment. And I find it disgusting, right? I respect guys like Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant, right? They're not going to give you the typical political correct answer, right? They're going to tell you like it is. And so I think it's a crying shame. And so, listen, he got some pushback, but I think it didn't go far enough, right? If other players said this about other cities, then it would have been a all-out war. For crying out loud, Kyrie Irving tweeted and almost got his career ended. And so the double standard is just at an all-time high. So I'm going to stop it right there. But listen, I interview professional basketball players all the time, right? And you're supposed to be media trained, right? Even if you think something, right, on the record, be cautious of what you're saying, right? Keep those conversations private. Listen, what he said, was it true? Could be. I mean, I've been to Memphis, Nashville. I get it, but you don't say that, right? I mean, why not give solution and reason how to fix it, right? Why pile on a city like that? It's just bad business. It's bad communication, and I just wonder why he will even, participate in that conversation on a golf course with a bunch of white boys. I don't like it, man. In my opinion, I don't like it.
Well, I do want to add this too, real quick. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say just based on what I believe if David Stern was around, this would have been dealt with. This would turn into a league issue because he is saying something about 2 other teams because he threw Milwaukee in there too, and then he threw Memphis under the bus. And I do believe David Stern would have had something to say about it. I'm not saying it would have been something super strict.
Roger, he doesn't say it because it's a different environment, and he knows not to say it if David Stern is still around.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to take a shot at Adam Silver. I'm just gonna say, I mean, brother, you are.
It's a more lax environment for the players under Silver. That's just a fact. Good for better or worse, it's a more laxed environment.
Well, sometimes you need a little sternness. And I'm gonna read off the rules of engagement for the show. Even though I have no problem with Mr. Moss, I'm just reading this because I said I would read it from time to time. So when new people come up, I'm gonna try to read the rules of engagement on the Roger Report Live. Even though I know sometimes somebody may come up and maybe their first time hearing this particular show, but it's good to have it on record. So rules of engagement, y'all. Rule number 1: no talking over the host, which of course is me. Rule number 2: stick to the subject of the show. Rule number 3: be respectful to others as they speak. Number 4: everyone is afforded a 2-minute uninterrupted opening statement. Use it wisely. Number 5: different opinions are welcome, but you must remain respectful at all times. Number 6: keep the cursing to a minimum. All right, so that's the rules over here at the Roger Report Live. Mr. Moss, I appreciate you coming. Nice to talk to a guy in your position because you say you do this, you cover the NBA for a living, and you even speak to players and things like that too. So definitely appreciate you being here. I'm gonna say you found a good place.
I have listened to Mr. Moss on some other channels, some other sports, particularly basketball channels. We're enjoying a rare treat here, Roger. I got to say that I really enjoyed listening to Mr. Moss on the other channels. So we're enjoying a rare treat here.
I appreciate that.
Mr. Moss, I have a question for you, if I may.
Sure.
Why is the media crapping on my man Kobe? Why? Just why?
Because they're bought and paid for, bro. We no longer have a Hannah Storm. We don't have the old school medias, right? No more Jim Grays. There's no more integrity in the media, right? It's a business, right? LeBron James has a direct hand in how the media works these days, right? If his name isn't praised and put on the front of conversations, then maybe you can't go on TV that day, right? I tell you this though, off record, right? Off the record, or just a media guy or a team coming into town, a commentator or what have you, they love Kobe Bryant, but they understand that they're trying to fit in these circles and everything is a financial gain at this moment. And so they're not going to say what they want to say. Now, you do have those guys who don't care, who aren't affected financially, but Kobe Bryant is a top 3 player of all time, period, in my eyes. And so it's just sad that you got
one, then we good. But I hear you.
Gotcha, bro. I got you.
But thank you for that insight. Thank you for that insight, sir.
I appreciate that. Now we have Inspired Truth that has come up, so I'm gonna let you get the mic. Do your thing, Inspired.
All right. Am I coming in loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just came up as a point of clarification. Have to do something about that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drop. I am not calling FedEx slow. What I am saying though is that if you, what I am saying though is if you do want to,
that's enough. Well, you don't even need the rest of your 2 minutes. This ain't gonna even be right. I'm sorry. I'm
hey, he's afforded a 2-minute uninterrupted opening statement. Great Black Reset.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
All right.
Now, hold on. Now we got company and Great Black Reset making us look bad in front of company. Okay. Now we got Mr. Moss.
I'm sorry.
I admit that I'm not familiar with him, but that doesn't mean anything bad on his part. But when Black Uru endorses a man when he first show up, that means this is a great man here, because that's he don't just throw out endorsements like that. So let's show some respect. Great Black Reset. Can you act like this is a nice place to come to? Okay, can you act like?
I apologize, sir.
Appreciate it. Inspired Truth, go ahead, sir.
All right, all right, all right. So
Hater.
yeah, FedEx, I'm
Hater.
not calling FedEx slow. But what I am saying though is if you do want to diss Memphis and FedEx headquarter and big distribution hub is in Memphis, and somebody just so happens to see that LeBron package on that their conveyor, might be an excellent way to slow your package down. That's all I'm saying.
Well, so we taking shots at him, which I don't mind. You know, he's never
Yeah, yeah.
he's never. I mean, I watched Michael Jordan play, y'all. So it just is what it is. When you grow up watching Michael Jordan, then this guy named LeBron comes to the league, you probably just don't see it the same way as a lot of other people see it. I do respect the things that LeBron has been able to accomplish, but I also pay attention to the fact that he is a very rich man. He is a businessman. And I know the NBA puts people through media training. This just was not a good statement to make. And I'm gonna say again, especially on certain white folks' platforms, it's just not a good look. Once you throw Milwaukee under the bus, who did nothing to you, once you throw Memphis under the bus, who did nothing to you. I mean, these are not even your sports rivals. You know, or I may take it in a different context if you like got put out of the playoffs the last 3 years by one of these teams, but these teams haven't done this to you. So why say this and then bring up all this stuff about Nashville that sounds extra white?
You cannot media train humility. You cannot media train being humble and being respectful. That's an upbringing thing. You know, so I mean, yeah, you know, the NBA can do so much. And I think maybe under Stern, because Stern will probably actually have some specific prohibitions, like against saying certain things, he probably would not say it just for the fact that he probably would not want to deal with Stern, because Stern was willing to step to any of the dudes, even the biggest dudes. So he might not have said it for that reason, but LeBron has always come off. I mean, he declared himself to be the king before he had done anything in the NBA. So he's always been an arrogant and rather dismissive person. And I know we want to, you know, kind of Reset alluded to defending the brother man kind of thing. But when the brother man is saying something that could result in maybe hundreds or 1,000 or more black people losing jobs if they move a franchise, then which brother man am I picking? That one brother man or the 1,000 brother mans who lose their jobs?
Yeah, brother man that's good versus brother man that ain't, that's, you know, just kind of like the brother that's average everyday brother. You got to kind of, you know, look out for the people that need to be looked out for.
Yeah, great Black Reset. Because LeBron could literally go home, put his feet up, and twiddle his thumbs for the rest of his life, and he'd be all right.
But we got to remember something, ladies and gentlemen. When we're talking about I'm sorry.
No, I was just trying to pile on Great Black Reset. That's all. But you didn't roll my
ball. Yeah, I'm glad you admitted it. This is Pile on the Brother Man Day. I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
One second. I just want to say this really quickly. We got to remember, right, that LeBron is not opposed from, you know, collapsing the economy. He did it to his hometown, right? He didn't give them the respect to say, "Hey, I'm leaving." No preparation, no forewarning. He just got on TV and said, "I'm taking my talents to Miami," and some businesses collapsed overnight, right? Ticket sales were down. Tourism was down. Shops weren't making money, right? Because he didn't think about that. He didn't think about, okay, give everybody forewarning, let them prep and prepare. He was just like, "Nah, I'm out," and he left.
Also, too, Black Trump, if it's okay, Roger.
No. Jump in anywhere you want at this point.
Okay.
Jump in anywhere you want.
I find it hypocritical. I'm from Northeast Ohio. I'm born and raised in Sandusky. For those who know that area, that Cedar Point amusement park. Why didn't he mention Cleveland, Ohio, as a dump? Right? I mean, I've been through that town and back around the block a few times. Cleveland, Ohio, is not a perfect city, right? It's riddled with crime, right? Their downtown don't have the best hotels, right? Their downtown isn't pinky like that. And so LeBron, so you get on Milwaukee and Memphis, but you don't talk about your own hometown. It's ridiculous. And so again, the level of self-awareness, the accountability, and real quick on David Stern. See, the NBA has allowed LeBron James just to run amok, right? Nobody's never checked him right the right way. And David Stern would have checked this from day one. And so I forget who said it, but LeBron James wouldn't even have had the cojones to say this nonsense if David Stern was still under the helm, right? David Stern checks things in real time in the moment. Adam Silver is running this league into the ground, right? Scandal after scandal. The Clippers, right? The gambling. Chauncey Billups, right? Terry Rozier, right? I mean, come on now. I mean, it's a muck in the NBA right now. And so we didn't see these things while David Stern was at the helm, because he had discipline, structure, and he had accountability, and he held guys accountable. LeBron James just never has been held accountable since he's been in this league, and I think it's a crying shame.
I just want to quickly say, shout out to Joe King Noah, who said, I've never heard anyone say they want to go to Cleveland for vacation. So, I mean, now, that was controversial even then, but that was him literally talking to LeBron being a rival of the Cleveland Cavaliers at that particular time. So, it's going to be looked at in a much different way. But even then, people said something about it. So for LeBron to do this at this particular point and crap on these other two teams as an active NBA player, this is just, to me, this is just totally bad look. It's a totally bad look. I really
and it was untoward when Joakim did it. Look, all these cities, all these franchises, all these cities, they pay their salaries. Directly and indirectly pay all of their salaries. Cleveland pays just as much of their share to Joakim's salary as Los Angeles does, for example. So, I mean, when you come into the sort of a consortium of some sort, where it's a pool of money, which includes stadium receipts and contracts and merchandising and international and all of that, it makes no sense to crap on any entity that's contributing to that. It's biting off your nose to spite your face. It didn't make any sense when Joakim do it. Now, I know he was into this sort of I'm competing against LeBron, I hate LeBron kind of thing, and it kind of went in that direction. But it was untoward when Joakim did it. But for LeBron and his position to do it, I mean, he's a historical figure in the league. I mean, for him to not, you have to be, but that's why we were talking about earlier about him being, I don't know if he's willfully avoiding a mentorship, because I don't know his background, but it is interesting to me that there are no elder men that that appear to mentor him. In all of what we see and have seen of him over all these years, we don't see any particular elder guy that he kind of submits to for sort of eldership or mentorship.
No, that's a good point, Blackwood, because when
that's
he
what I was
younger,
that's what I was alluding to. I was alluding to that when if you look at his upbringing, this is what he was missing. The understanding that older men are important to your development. He doesn't have an older man that came into his life before he got money that he respects. This is where being a single mother will hurt your child no matter who he is. This is the problem with him having, vomit of the mouth.
And he used to listen to, at least to my understanding, he used to listen to that, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but the guy who was his high school coach. But I ain't heard that dude mentioned in a long time. Yeah,
Well,
look,
he's
LeBron
prideful.
needs some older guys around on that, or get. I mean, you LeBron James, you ain't got no NBA vets to talk to. Like, you know, how do you not have access to somebody to help you in all these personal situations? You know, that's just unbelievable. So you kind of ignoring it, but he may not really think it's all that important at the end of the day, or he may not see the value of the. Because he did used to deal with some older men but he was a kid though, technically. You know, and a very young man when he first got into the NBA. And I gave the man props for, kind of listening to the older men who helped develop him. But now that is years ago at this particular point, and now he's a billionaire. So he may
Well,
not really
that's the
check in
point.
with anybody at this point.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the problem, and this is a great segue into this conversation. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room in every situation, right? We've seen that Kobe Bryant go talk to a Bill Russell to learn how to be a leader, right? We saw MJ, go talk to a Dr. J, a Magic, a Larry, right? LeBron James is not receptive to constructive criticism, right? And accountability, right? He thinks he's the older state, right? He thinks he can do no wrong, right? He thinks guys should be coming to him for advice. And so again, he just doesn't have the intangibles. He doesn't have the know-withal. He doesn't have the media savviness, to dodge and deflect and kind of wiggle his way out of some of these tough questions or conversations that's in front of him. But that's why I respect a guy like Kobe Bryant, right? I'm gonna go talk to a Bill Russell. Hey man, show me how you did this, man, right? If I'm asked this question, what do I do, right? Kobe bugged MJ at 2-3 in the morning, right? Not just basketball, but just life. And so LeBron James, he's arrogant, he's selfish, he has no accountability, and again, he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room in every situation. And again, like everything about him, I just find disgusting. Disgusting.
I want to say something really quickly because, oh man, I like you, Mr. Moss, but you just told these guys the wrong thing. God damn. Oh my god. But anyway, I'm gonna let it go. At the end of the day, though, I like. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I think we're being too critical here. I think he was just talking in jest, letting his hair down, so to speak. And you know what I mean? I don't really think he was like trying to maliciously do these things. So I do want to give him a break here because he is a black man. It's hard enough to be a black man, rich and famous, the face of the league, sharing it, one of the faces, because I think he is more. I think I wouldn't say it's the LeBron era. I would say it was the Curry and LeBron era. I think they shared that era. I don't think LeBron dominated the era by himself. So I would say it's the Curry and LeBron era. And I just think, man, we just got to catch him a little bit of break.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I've had my problems with the platform, which I ain't gonna get into. I'm just gonna say, hey, it's their platform; they can do what they want to. But I lost a channel or two. We all know this at this point. All right. Even I have said multiple times that when y'all come speak, remember that you're speaking in public. I've told people in the comment section, the people that's in the live chat, even when you chat something, this is public. So don't do exactly what you would do if you were sitting in your own kitchen or living room. This is a public place. Now, in comparison to LeBron James, I'm a nobody. I'm just some dude with a channel that ain't even got 1 million subscribers yet. So I'm a nobody, and I'm aware of how things you say in the public can be perceived. So I'm not trying to get on his case, but I am getting on his case. Like, bro, you are 41 years old. There's a lot more eyes on you than there are on me. If I know to do it, then you should know to do it. And if you're gonna get quote unquote comfortable, why are you comfortable on those white folks' platform?
And I just want to say,
he wasn't even asked about Memphis. He wasn't. He was asked, "How has being older? How has?" Let me read what he was asked. So, does travel get worse for you, or just as does it wear on you more? That's what he was asked. He wasn't asked about Memphis. He wasn't asked about Milwaukee. He wasn't asked about the Wyatt. He wasn't asked about Vanderbilt. He wasn't asked about any entity at all. He was asked about, you getting older, how does the travel affect you? So he had to go into he had to willfully go into the direction of crapping on Memphis. He had to do something that nobody prompted him to do. Now, again, if you're 19, 20, 21 years old, maybe I understand you saying some stupid shit. But you're 23, whatever years in the league, you've been in all scenarios, you've had thousands of interviews and all kinds of situations, all kinds of countries. Damn, when do you learn better?
And your son is literally in the league with you. Your son is literally in the league with you. Yeah, I don't want to hit him harder than he needs to be hit, but bro, your son is on the bench. That's not your son in the stands. Your son is on the bench. Come on, man. Why are you this comfortable? That's all I'm saying. Why are you this comfortable?
That is true. That is true. Because ain't no way Kobe's son will be on the bench and Kobe chilling, not training him. That is very true. That is very true.
And I got to read this from Afro Merchant, and we'll let Truth Teller get in because he just came up. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, this is something directed towards you. Hot sauce, does this count as wilding out when the black man gets rich? Hashtag long live Negroes in the wilderness. What's
okay. All right, so I am a man of my word, and I have to be consistent. But I want to say, let me preface this. Just because Kobe called Mike for advice, don't make Mike better than Kobe. So I don't want to hear this shit later down the road. Right? You can ask people who might not be as good as you, but still great for advice. Right? Now, I just want to clear that up. Now, I don't think LeBron was wilding out. I just think he was just relaxing. But yes, does this count as wilding out? I don't think he was wilding out. My personal opinion, I don't think he was wilding out. I think he was just relaxed.
Okay. All right. Truth Teller, you are here. You got the mic.
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, I'm going to make this short on LeBron because I want to give praise to a couple of people, one of which is on the panel. But as far as LeBron is concerned, the flop in general, I don't really even care. I don't think he was taking a shot at black people. I just think he took a shot at the city who really, need to step forward on how they support their pro athletes. So I'll say that much. But other than that, I don't care what LeBron got to say, to tell you the truth. I want to give a shout out to my daughter. I just got the news. She has been awarded with the summa cum laude categorization for her high school graduation that's coming up here in a couple of months. And I got to give a shout out to Sauce. I don't know what your name is today, player, but some advice you gave me actually allowed her to increase her SAT score. She retook it. She got a 1420.
Very good.
She has applied to a couple of Ivy Leagues, and she has been accepted. I won't say the names. It's big ones, of course. She only applied to 5, and she got accepted by 3. But she don't want to go to none of them. So
you got accepted to 3 Ivies?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, but she ain't going to none of them. So, as a father, I did what I had to do. But the reason for that, she increased her GPA score. She is going to a school here in Florida, but she's qualified for full scholarship. So she's fully paid for. I ain't got to pay nothing. So I can't complain about that, right? But some advice you gave me actually helped her with her SAT score. You know what it was, brother. So I have to thank you, too, for helping me and my family out. I much appreciate it.
No problem, man. Glad to help.
And yeah, congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man. Congrats to your daughter and the wonderful future, she's set for herself, or future opportunities she's set for herself. And I'm happy you're not going to have to pay,
that's the big one.
For her to go to school.
she got the acceptance letters for them schools. I was like, yeah. I was thinking to myself, damn, how are we gonna pay for this? And she's like, no, I'm not going there. Because in Florida, when you qualify for certain things, there's actually a full scholarship. I forgot what it's called, something star scholarship that you could get if you go to a Florida school. So she's going to a Florida school, and I'm like,
just laminate and frame. Have her laminate and frame those Ivy League acceptance letters.
Like one thing, like just to let you know, if she haven't signed admission letters, that some schools, some Ivy schools like Brown, Harvard, whatever, even Penn, if you say you have financial hardships, they will give you scholarships. So they'll do whatever in their power that they can do to let you come if it's about finances. So just to let you know, right? They will.
It's not because we qualify. Technically, we supposed to pay full tuition.
But hear me out. You can write. You can write a letter.
Write the letter.
And then they will help you out, right? So just I mean, if price is an issue, because I know it's like $40 grand just for tuition alone, right? No, it's like $80 grand.
14 books. Yep.
Yeah. I know. So, but if you write a letter, talk about your hardship, stuff like that, they will find ways to get you money so that it doesn't stop you from enrolling. So I'm just let you know.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. That's it for me. I'm good. Thank you, man. Appreciate all the help.
Yeah,
appreciate
congrats, man. Congrats. Very happy for you and your daughter and your family.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
she had a 4.5, man. I was like, I was like, all right, baby, all right. She's been taking college courses while in high school, so
and
AP courses, So she was doing AP and college courses while technically she's a sophomore in college. She has actual college credits.
Okay.
Yeah, the AP.
So she'll be done with school with her bachelor pretty quickly then.
Yeah. She actually could have finished. She's dual enrolled right now, by the way. So she's already finished all of her high school requirements last year. So and she finished her first year college requirements last year too. This year she's just been doing college courses for the fall and spring semesters. She literally doesn't go to high school herself. She goes to the college campus for her courses. So she's doing amazing. She did it herself, So I'm real proud of her.
Well, 14 is a great score, man. 14, that's a great score.
Yeah. She didn't do bad too bad the first time out. She did like a 1360 something.
Okay, 13 is still, 13 is good, but 14 is like that. 14 is when you get to the Asian level. 14, 15.
That's what it is?
Yeah. Because most Asians are like 15, 30, 15, 20. Right? Because I did, first time I did mine, I was like 11 something. The second time I did it, I was a 1480. And like all my and then like everybody, all my Asian friends, Vietnamese, they were like around a 14, mid 14 to 15, low 15.
Okay.
Now I gotta say, shout out to No Placeholder. Appreciate you the super chat, my brother. No Placeholder says the Jamaican gene comes in handy in academics. Way to pat yourself on the back. You gotta do that sometime. Though.
No Placeholder. It ain't just for sprinting and ganja.
Huh? You say, let's look at those backgrounds, y'all. Let's look at these backgrounds. All right, but let's get back to the subject of the show. Even though I do want to give an official congratulations to Truth Teller's daughter. She making us proud. And shout out to Truth Teller for verifying that if using advice from I know he's Black Trump right now, but using advice from Black Trump can actually work. Okay, I know y'all say he crazy sometimes, but he does give good advice. Real talk.
Listen, genius has always been packaged in craziness.
Hard to argue that. But
and I'm in the upper level of geniuses. So.
All right. Well, getting back to the subject of the show.
One of the sicknesses of social media, or just the times we're in, is that there's this inverse or opposite relationship between somebody having something to say and worthwhile to say, and somebody having a large audience to listen. And we observe that with LeBron very often. Not really a lot to really say, but a whole lot of people listening. You know, that's a fundamental issue and problem in this environment, in this current environment. I mean, some people might even say we have a current presidency kind of put together on that basis as well. But you know, where you have people who are very popular, extremely popular, have X number of hundreds of millions of followers in the various media, and have zero shit of any value to actually say. And when I look at that scene with LeBron, and you got all these white guys, and they got cameras, or they got the camera phones out, and everybody's recording what he's saying, and I'm like, what is he really gonna say that's gonna be worthwhile, you know, while all this recording is going on? And I just think for a lot of LeBron, because he's been in this catbird seat of popularity and focus and interest, I do think to some degree he's trapped with thinking he have to have something to say. And the problem is that you're not the most educated gentleman. You're not the most scholastic or academically prepared man. So you're invariably, as you're compelled to say something because you're getting all this attention, because you're going to be compelled to say something, invariably you're going to say the wrong things. Because, again, not a whole lot to say, but a whole lot of listeners.
Preach, bro. Preach.
Well, I think... I want to say that I hear what you're saying, but I mean, at the end of the day, wealth speaks, right? And he's noted as a billionaire, right? He's 6'9", he's an athlete, right? He living the American dream, rag to riches, billionaire, famous, rich and famous. People are attracted to that. So that alone gets listeners.
Well, to me, that's exactly why you need to learn how to watch what you say. When you know your voice has that much weight, you should be more careful in how you use your voice. Don't that make sense?
No.
Michael Jordan is even today
he said no.
more famous than LeBron James. Today, Michael Jordan is 5 times richer than LeBron James. Michael Jordan does not run his mouth.
But it's not a comparison between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. LeBron James is still going to get attention because he's rich, famous, tall, and he's an athlete. Like you know what I mean? Just like the whoever was on the, like Bronny James, right? Bronny James is ass, but he plays basketball, and he's famous, and he's rich, and he's the son of a billionaire, so he's going to get attention.
So where's the integrity in all this, man?
Bronny James does not say the stupid stuff his father said.
Right. He's quiet, Black Trump. And where's the integrity at in all this, man? I mean, because you're rich and black and 6'9", I mean, that's the measuring stick now. I mean, like when LeBron James speaks, when he speaks, like he doesn't even sound confident saying what he's saying. Like it's forced out of his mouth. And like Black You Strike just said, like you can tell the lack of preparation, the lack of education. Listen, thank God he's 6'9" with that body frame, and he's a basketball player, because he comes across as being a very uneducated, unaware man, right? I mean, there's too many instances along the way in his 22-year journey where he's just said the wrong thing. I'm saying if you take a step back, LeBron, and just think about it and just think before you speak, maybe you can give a much better calculated answer. And then just real quick, how arrogant and cocky do you have to be on a golf course with a bunch of white guys with their phones out, and you're not aware of these guys recording you? You're not aware of what you're saying? Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, this is crazy.
Well, this will be my response. Everybody here on the panel, I'm going to say with confidence, none of us are billionaires. We're not. The talents that we have and the education you have doesn't allow us to produce that kind of money. So we live in a different type of world where observing your awareness, being careful what you say is important because they have consequences, right? And the consequences are much more severe for us than it is for LeBron James. The whole point of being rich, according to me, is to be able to do what you want, say what you want, and live how you want. And if you're a billionaire, then why not do that? Because if you cannot say offensive shit to people, then you're not rich enough.
Wow. That is what you just said that's crazy.
This is kind of like the end, I guess, of LeBron James. Maybe this is kind of
right. If you cannot, let me repeat it for the audience. If you cannot say stuff that pisses people off and you and not bear any consequences, you're not rich enough.
You know what? I'm gonna have to say, because I don't believe in false narrative. He does have a point. He does. It's a horrible, ugly, but cold truth type of point. You know, at the end of the day, you.
I mean, what do we do? I mean, this is the benefits of being rich. Jerry, what's this nigga's name? What's the name of the coach of the Patriots? What's his
Robert
name?
Kraft.
No, the Patriots coach.
No, that's the owner.
Former coach Belichick.
So, Mr. Mouse, how old is Belichick and how old is his girlfriend?
His girlfriend's got to be about 20.
That's different, though. I mean, we know
28, maybe.
Yeah, she's
Brother,
younger.
That is the benefits of being rich. If you ain't doing that, then what was the point?
I ain't rich, bro, and I prefer younger women. I mean, that has nothing to do with being rich.
No, I'm just saying, but if we are not, if we're not doing, like, I prefer younger women too, but I don't prefer them 50 years younger.
What I'm gonna say, when I did the story on it, if my memory is correct, I believe he was 72 and she was 24 when I covered the story.
Cool. Right,
yeah.
I prefer younger women, but not that much.
But there's no. I mean, they're two people of sound mind and sound body who could do whatever they want to do with each other.
Exactly.
Nothing about what they're doing has any bearing on anybody else but them. That's not analogous to what we're talking about here.
In some circles, that would be considered inappropriate. But he is rich enough. He is rich enough.
Not inappropriate. No. What circles?
It's only inappropriate. It's only inappropriate in female-led circles.
Yeah, that's the only people it's inappropriate to feminists. Those are the only people it's inappropriate to. Nobody else cares.
Anyway, my point is that when this is the benefit of being rich, right? Saying things and not having consequences, even when you're pissing people off, and that's that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a benefit that can show based on how rich you are. I'm gonna accept that. It's a benefit that can come with, depending upon how rich you are. Now, should you use it, it still still matters. And I'm gonna say, as a person who's an active NBA player, he should not have said what he said because he's an active. Now, if he'd have been a retired player,
LeBron's wealth is still based on future valuation and return on investment in the sorted things, many of which are intangible. And they're going to be a function of popularity and fan base style and merchandising sales and all of that. And all that is going to be a function of his PR rating or his Q rating. And everything that he says that's dumb if a critical mass of people take high exception to how dumb it is what he's saying, it will affect him economically. That's why there's a reason why Michael Jordan is worth $5 billion, because he didn't say dumb shit like this.
And I'm gonna say, as a active NBA player, there can be things that come upon you, because if people, let's say people decided to boycott LeBron James games, that's a big impact. And it's not just LeBron. Now you're affecting the Lakers organization.
So and in that case, he would have to apologize, and then I would say, Roger, he's not rich enough.
God bless the Lakers and nobody else.
As a black man, will he ever be? I mean, just real quick, fellas. As a black man in this country, are you ever rich enough?
I think once he retires, he will be rich enough, but he's going to have to leave, because in America, it's very dangerous to be that rich in America and not have white supremacy fuck with you.
So you answer my question then. So then the question is, you can never be rich enough as a black man in this country. So why use that as I mean, okay. I mean, you said it, bro. So thanks for answering the question.
No. I mean, there's levels to it, right? There's levels to it. So, for example, I might be rich enough to say things to piss off the everyday person, but I could also be not rich enough to piss off Donald Trump. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, we have some examples here of rich black men who got humbled.
Okay,
so,
for him, for LeBron to be oppressive, as long as he's oppressing people who have less.
Nobody said that.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Nobody said
that's exactly what you're saying.
Nobody said that.
That's exactly what you. How else should we interpret what you just said?
No. You can piss people off without being oppressive. See, you play games now. Play games.
You triggered my trap card.
Yeah. Okay. You talk enough, Wharton, and then you end up trapping.
No, because you're playing games. Because pissing off people, like for example, every time you tell me that Michael Jordan is better than Kobe Bryant, pisses me off. You're not being oppressive, but it pisses me off.
It shouldn't.
It really shouldn't.
Okay. Well, you know what? We I'm gonna do this like this. We got a new guest coming up. Usual business is here, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him get the mic to get his piece. And I'm only saying this to you because you're a Harvard grad. And you went to the Wharton School of Business, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff I can't beat you at. But it really shouldn't piss you off every time you hear Michael Jordan was better than Kobe Bryant. It should. You should just accept that, man.
But are you oppressive? No. Stop pushing back. You can piss me off without being oppressive.
Okay. All right. Usual business. Go ahead and get your opening statement in, brother.
Now this may be where the ageism kick in, maybe a little bit, this is what I gotta say. I when I look at the Kobe Bryant and the Michael Jordan thing, it's like a yin and yang thing, bro. Whatever Kobe was good at necessarily, Mike necessarily had his issues, but whatever Mike was good at necessarily, Kobe had his upsides at. They in their own little. I'm saying that's when I put them necessarily in that quote unquote two legendary figures type of thing necessarily, like the two warriors of the titans of their own field, right? So for me, that's why I put them two necessarily. I've always kept them two as that kind of necessarily way because of their skill set and ability. But when it comes to LeBron, man, what you expect though, man? I mean, I'm not gonna say too much about him in the sense that this is the behavior that he has distributed. I mean, not only once but multiple times throughout his life. So why did you kind of expect it to be different here, though? And I'm just gonna leave it at
that. Well, I mean, wisdom, age, experience. There's a lot of things, in my opinion, that LeBron pick up on. And LeBron ain't a dumb guy. If he was a dumb guy, I could accept this a little bit more of him saying what he said at the age that he said it at. But he don't come off as a dumb guy to me. I'm not saying that he's like an academic or anything like that, but he never came off as a dumb person to me. So you've been in this business for this long. There's certain things you don't say in certain places. You are an NBA player. That's something every NBA player should understand. There's certain things that I just don't say in certain places. Why? Because people in the media, and now that you have social media, you got media times a billion. You know what I'm saying? So you're supposed to guard your words at all times in general.
But okay, my bad. Okay, hold on. I'll put like this. My bad. Maybe you didn't see it the way I saw it. How I look at LeBron James. LeBron James is like Homelander from. I don't know if y'all seen the show The Boys or whatever. That's like the closest where you can kind of look at him. Right. So he's a public figure designed to sell or whatever. He's a brand. It's what is it? The LeBron thing is it's his own entity, as it's him saying, right? And then sometimes the as you want to say the mascot necessarily. Sometimes he go off script. Sometimes he do what he want to do and he have his ego flare, and it is what it is. But that's always been him though since he's pretty much been in the league though. Like he said, he's called himself the king since he pretty much got in the system, right? So I mean, before he actually did his work. So what would you expect of a person like that?
Well, that Homelander analogy for LeBron. Have you really considered that analogy?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I look at it.
You're kind of actually making our point by equating LeBron to Homelander.
I mean, that's how I always viewed it. I mean, I don't know how y'all put. I just kind of came in kind of late, but that's how I always kind of viewed the individual.
Well, usual business.
I mean, because Homelander is like the primary villain of the board.
Right.
He said this overly superpowered villain. So I mean, that's kind of an apt analogy.
Business.
Yeah.
It can't be. It is what it is because where's our standard? Like, I mean, there's a standard that's been set by prior players, and so it's his job to move the NBA forward, not stalemate it or push it backwards. And so these things don't help push the league forward. And so it can't be. It is what it is, and this is what he does. Like he's the face of the league still, arguably, right? And has been. It's his duty to push this league forward, especially right now in a time where they're struggling. Viewership is down. Like
Mr.
that's
Mom.
his job.
I mean, but you got the lane.
I heard that for the first time in the history of the existence of the salary cap, it has gone down.
Yes,
for the first time.
Correct. That's a true statement.
That's a major development in the history of the NBA.
No, correct me if
some
I'm
of that
wrong.
is because of. I'm sorry, back Trump. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No. I'll go after you. It's okay. You're the guest.
Oh
it's
well,
okay.
I just want to make sure that we put the right stuff out there, and Black U Strikes is correct, but some of that is because of certain streaming platforms, the accessibility with NBA TV, streaming apps, and etc. And so the viewership is going to be down, but there's still ways that these guys behind the scenes that can say, if these things were in place, these streaming apps, how would the viewerships be? And it's still down. So you are correct, but a lot of it is because of the technology. And now, like the on-demand, like I could be on the plane watching a game from my cell phone, right? And so it's just different. But your point's well taken, Black U Strikes. I get what you're saying.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, because I kept hearing that viewership has been down since 2010. Right, less people watching the finals since 2010. Less people watching the games since 2010.
I don't know the exact time frame, but that's going to depend on who's in the finals, who's playing, who's hurt, blah blah blah. I mean, during that Steph Curry era, from that 15 to 19 range, it was at an all-time high, right? I mean, of course, it's not the 98 finals with MJ, but I mean, a lot of things play a role. But You know, I
No,
mean,
because
but yeah,
I heard
it's
that
down. It's down.
but I mean, it's been down for a while though. Like since like 2010, 2011, they've been down because I don't. This is where I disagree. I don't look at like LeBron as the face of the NBA. I would say, like how you had the Magic and Bird era. I would say you had the Curry and LeBron era. I would say this era was shared between those two.
Oh, Black Trump, are you okay? So if I can ask this question, then because that's a good statement, but let's break that down. When you say share the era, now I do think Steph Curry has been the best player of the era, but far as the face of the league, oh no, bro, trust me, it's hands down, no question, not even close. It's been LeBron James. Steph Curry is not the face of the league, bro. It's not. He's
okay.
not.
I've been abroad. I would be abroad, and I would say that LeBron and Curry are equally as famous here.
Yeah, not in America though, bro.
Well, I'm gonna say the league sells a player, and so LeBron has been that guy for a long time, and ever since Kobe has been gone, he's really been that guy for a long time. Curry has been getting his shine. I'm not gonna say he ain't been getting his shine, but people already in LeBron's direction at that particular time.
I think the only reason why Curry is not definitively the face of the league is because Curry's quiet. I think if Curry behaved like LeBron, he would have supplanted LeBron as the face of the league, especially given that the league has changed primarily because of his style of play.
Yeah, because of Curry. Yeah, because I mean,
I think the only reason why he hasn't replaced LeBron is because he lives a quiet life to himself. He doesn't really do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because in China they love Curry. They love Curry here.
Black Trump, part of being the face of the league is how the media pushes you. And LeBron James has his guys in certain spots on certain TV shows, on every channel, TNT, everywhere, and it's their job and duty to push him. And so they have a major hand in pushing players and covering players. Listen, for crying out loud, the Lakers finished 7th seed or lower in the last, except for last year, in the last 4 or 5 years. And they were talked about more on those morning shows than OKC, Denver, Boston. Like, I mean, come on. I mean,
that's smart, man. That's genius. Get your guys in on media, and then hey, when they're not doing well, it's everybody else's fault. When they're doing great, it's his benefit.
It's great for him, but it taints the league. It lessens the value of the league overall.
Oh, but guys, come on. I mean, look. If I'm in that position, and hopefully, if you guys were in a position, regardless of taint the lead or not, I think we all would do the same thing.
No.
I
disagree. You know why you don't though? Because what actually makes the game good is actually the rivalries, the people not actually agreeing, the people actually. On my soul, I believe that my guy is better than your guy necessarily, and people putting that all on the mat necessarily, and people getting to experience that in real life. That's what actually gets people into it.
From our
when you take that from me, you take the soul of it away. That's what it is. That's why I say it was the Homelander effect. Homelander took the soul out of necessarily the quote unquote the Vought scene necessarily, and the same thing with him. He took the soul out of. I ain't gonna say he was single handedly, but necessarily. But he was one of the quote unquote crux to quote unquote suck the soul out of the league.
Yeah, but from his point of view, though, look what he did. Gets his name in the conversation of the GOAT. What he did gets him as the face of the league.
It does not help him if you depress the audience.
Let me finish. Okay, first of all, what he did has benefited him tremendously. He was able to form super teams. He was able to get the media to always talk about him in a favorable light. He was able to get the NBA to see him as the next franchise player after Kobe, according to you guys. So he has benefited tremendously. Now, so you can tell me, oh, but this and that suffered. But from his perspective, and any sane person, if they had the opportunity, they would do the same. I would do the same. It would be crazy.
Okay.
No, hold on.
And
I
maybe
got
if he
something to say.
was
I got something to say real
God,
quick.
maybe
It's
if
real
he
quick.
was God and we were supposed to worship him as God, then that would be great. But since he's not God, he's just another man, and we get to judge his behavior, not only in terms of how it benefits him, but how it benefits everybody else. We are allowed to take a position of criticism against his behavior. And by the way, long term, if he depresses the value of the league, if he depresses the value of the sport, that will affect his investment portfolio as well.
I wanted to say this. No, I wanted to say this real quick, right? Now, Hot Sauce, you said something about you love Kobe, right?
Yes.
Kobe, your guy, right? But you see what I'm saying? Just like how your bro right here said he orchestrated to lead necessarily to control to put himself in the front necessarily, right? It's the same way. What's that dude who beat Kobe's record? He put himself in the front. We all saw how he quote unquote cheated and basically in front of the national, the whole world, basically, right? Then you have shit like that where you actually seeing people quote unquote actually one man actually is able to achieve 100 bomb. Then we got somebody out here not actually doing 150 bomb still, but he did it because he's cheating. It literally reaped the soul out of the game. Like it literally does that.
LeBron cheated.
You don't mind cheating?
I don't think LeBron cheated. I can't call. I can't say.
No, I ain't saying that. I'm talking about what the dude Bam or whoever the dude necessarily broke Kobe's record for 30, 35, 30.
That was the NBA trying to get rid of Kobe's achievements. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. But that's what but that's what we open up the game up to when we have these dudes necessarily orchestrating quote unquote these events necessarily. What made that event so magical was that he had to earn that necessarily against all those other men. But when you got this shit being orchestrated necessarily that okay, you necessarily going to quote unquote, you're going to beat his record at this day, you're going to beat his record at this day, and you're going to have the most success. It's like, wait a minute, this shit is not even real anymore. This is theater now.
I don't think you can credit that to LeBron.
I don't know, bro.
But I'm gonna say the achievements that LeBron was able to accomplish, the stuff that you were just naming off, actually to me is one of the reasons LeBron shouldn't have said what he said. Because he's been the man. Because the lights are on him. Because his words are gonna be put in newspaper after newspaper after newspaper, because the stuff he says will end up on sports television shows. His stuff will end up on sports podcasts. His stuff will end up on regular podcasts. These are the reasons he shouldn't have said what he said. Keep in mind, if whoever the ninth guy is on the Lakers, because I ain't no Lakers fan, I have no clue what the name of the guy who's ninth on the Lakers. I ain't got no clue who he is. As much as they've been trying to prop their team up, I have no idea who's the ninth guy on the Lakers.
And everybody can't be raised right. It's all right.
No. The whole point is, if anybody was gonna say something this stupid, it should have been him, not a LeBron James, because you are the face. You don't say this type of stuff. If Lobby said really, we don't hear
this ain't even the worst thing that he's done. You know, in my view, I'd like to hear Mr. Ma's view on this in particular. I thought LeBron tried to willfully tried to end Kyrie Irving's career. If you recall that incident where Kyrie Irving just liked some particular movie that appeared to be supportive of black people or whatever, or black, Hebrew Israelites or something. It was something fairly benign. And everybody attacked it. And LeBron made a point of making some very negative and critical statements about what Kyrie Irving did, and they weren't even true. Yeah, because Kyrie never actually said anything negative about anybody. But LeBron was willfully mischaracterizing what he did. What's your view on that, Mr. Moss?
Well, my view is that, I mean, that's a man that you win a championship with, right? That's my brother. Am I my brother's keeper, right? It was Kyrie Irving with the biggest shot in Cavs history. So
Facts.
I would think that LeBron James would have Kyrie's back, right? Even if you felt that way in the moment, again, this goes back to being media savvy, right? You dodged that question, right? Right? You you don't give an opinion on the Kyrie situation, right? You dodge it, right? You give the politically correct answer in that moment. But what did he do? He piled on Kyrie. He helped put flames on that fire. And when he got pushback from the black community, what happened a week later? He brought his capping ass back on that podium and had to walk it back, right? This is the same man who was asked to his face, my friend who does media down there. Hey man, you read the Malcolm X book? He goes, yes. And then they say, what's your favorite part of the book? And then he just has a dumb look on his face. He's a liar, right? He's a liar. And so, like Black Uru Strike just said, this isn't even the worst case or worst situation he's been in or said. What he did to Kyrie Irving in a moment where they tried to take Kyrie's career away, they tried to take money out his pocket, right? And LeBron James could have easily had his brother's back. Again, before Black Trump goes, this is a man that you won a championship with. Oh, but you'll go do a podcast with JJ Redick, who was on record with emails who called a black girl the N-word, right? And then you'll get JJ Redick a job on the Lakers, but then you'll get Darvin Ham fired, right? You won't advocate for Brian Shaw, Bobby Jackson, right? Sam Cassell, some of these black coaches who have been lead assistants on all these benches. You go get JJ Redick, who called a black woman the N-word at Duke. So I mean, this is who we're dealing with, guys. Why are we surprised?
So first of all, let me make something clear. I'm 100% a Kobe guy. I'm not a LeBron guy at all. I do not even think LeBron is a top 10 player. I think he is a top 50. I think Shaq, Tim Duncan. Even before you mention Kobe, even before you mention Mike, you got to tell me how he's better than Curry. You got to tell me how he's better than Shaq. You got to tell me how he's better than Tim Duncan. Because Tim Duncan met him in the finals 3 times, beat him 2 of the 3, and Tim Duncan
is that. I think it's different.
Oh, let me tell you. Can I please? And it's actually the Spurs that broke up the Heat. But what I'm saying here is that if I am in his position, I would do these things. So yes, it would hurt me to my soul that this man called a woman the N-word. But because it can give me additional power, I'm going to have to put my feelings aside to acquire this power. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
No, I don't see it.
Well, I mean, I'm fine, bro, but
all right, let me get in here real quick. All right, top 50, baby, top 50. LeBron is top 50. It is what it is, man.
Oh my God! Why is the show still going on? What is happening? We got this nigga from Wharton can't count from 1 to 10 properly. Now we got Rogers counting to 50. Man, this is getting ridiculous, man. Come on, y'all. This is
anywhere you want in the 50. You can put them anywhere you want in the 50.
Yeah, now I'm gonna say shout out to Red Pill Sleeper Cell. He said the Cash App in. Appreciate you, my brother. He sent the $10 Cash App in, and he said that LeBron's son did not do coke by the pool. Okay, and I think the point of that is, yeah, when you're a certain person, there's just certain things you don't do. Okay, because it's gonna be seen a different way, and it's gonna be seen by way more people. And I'm gonna say shout out to Money. I didn't see what other name was there, but Money, who sent in a $1 asking about how to get a show done or a show sponsored. Y'all, my official price is $100. You send me $100 Cash App or $100 Super Chat. You tell me what you want the show to be about, and I will do the show. Now, why do I charge $100? Because y'all will give me stuff, and I have to research the stuff, because at the end of the day, to give you the best show on social media, I got to know what I'm talking about when I talk about it. So sometimes y'all will ask me to do something I don't have no clue. but I sound like I know what I'm talking about because I actually go through some research behind it. So yeah, there's times I got to do research. So, and I don't think $100 is that ridiculous of a price anyway. Especially if I'm gonna do a whole show catered to whatever your subject matter is. But I am gonna say, keep in mind what type of channel this is when you do ask for a certain thing to be done, because certain stuff won't fit the platform. Y'all know this is a centrally black channel. Now, if it's gonna be something about some white folks, yeah, I can do that. I'll do that under an unsupervised white people. So certain things can fit in, but as you watch the platform, you get an idea of what type of stuff the platform does. So, certain things I will not do. You know what I'm saying? I won't hold anybody's money if they give me something that I just won't do. They can just pick a different subject and I'll meet them somewhere in the middle. But I ain't gonna do anything but think about what kind of platform it is. Let it be known what you want. $100, we'll get it done for you. It's that simple at the end. We're gonna get you a great show too. We're gonna get you a great show because I don't believe in doing bad shows. Period. I just don't believe in them.
For itself, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Well, the one good thing about what Black Trump is doing here, because I do to some degree think you are actually tapping into the id of LeBron and like-minded people, right? So I as distasteful as some of this, as distasteful as some of what is being presented by Black Trump, I do think to a large extent he is describing what a LeBron James and or his kind think and how they operate. And so I think part of the good thing about seeing this, seeing LeBron and seeing a lot of what we're seeing about celebrities, not just athletes, all the rappers, actors all imploding, is I think this is a great thing for Black people. I think it's a kind of cleansing of or help to provide a cleansing of a lot of our notions and our feelings and our fantasies about celebrity, including and especially Black celebrity. And I like to think that the young people going forward, people, I guess, 18 and under, probably best for them is that going into a future, you guys are going to be a lot less inured and impacted by and influenced by celebrity because you know what they really are. And it's not all the fantasy stuff that us old folks might have wanted and thought it to be. So the good thing about hearing LeBron shit on Memphis and whatever, and even considering the impact that it would in particular have on Black Memphians. I don't know how you would describe
Memphians, you're right. You're right, Memphians.
Yeah, Memphians. The good thing for Black people overall, but particularly Black Memphians, is come to realization they don't give a shit. This guy don't give a shit about you, and the impact it might have on you to have the Grizzlies torn out of your city in your 60+% Black town. He don't give a shit about you. So guess what? To the extent that you have any ability to do so, convey to him you don't give a shit about him.
So
y'all been to Memphis lately?
I'd like to say something really quickly and also say something to Mr. Mars. Well, I have a question for Mr. Mars. So first, thank you, Black Guru, for saying I'm distasteful. I've been called worse. So
I did not say you were distasteful.
No,
I did not say you were distasteful.
His mom working sometimes, bro.
I appreciate that. Because the other brothers on here, they say horrible things about me. So I appreciate it.
I mean, only behind your back though on Tuesday though.
But see, this is the situation, and now I gotta say something a little bit hurtful, but it's the truth. And this is what I would like for you to respond if you can.
Sure.
So we're all Black men up here, and a lot of times the success that we have achieved was in spite of our community. a lot of things that we had to do had to be done with the lack of black support. And for some of us, it was just you support yourself and that's it. And for others, maybe there's one or two that supported us, and then maybe there's people from other races that supported us, right? It's a mixed bag, right? But we don't, as in general, I think it's safe to say we're not collectivists as the black community. So we're not making a judgment call. Do I say F you because you called a black girl the N-word? Or do I use you because you have the power? Or do I use you because you can gain me favor and power in the media? Right? And then on top of that, how loyal do I need to stay to the black community when I came up? You know what I mean? How supportive were they? And so I think we need to calculate that in our decision making, not just be so, in my opinion, not be so quote unquote have morals. Because number one, I don't even know what morals mean, and number two, the game is about getting power. What say you guys?
Okay,
You
before I
definitely
go,
don't know what morals mean for sure. For sure.
right. I mean, that's crazy. Like what you just said. I mean, I'm gonna answer it the best I can. But after I answer it, I'm gonna leave. But I want to tell Roger, thank you for allowing me to come up and speak my piece. And I'll definitely come back and join again. And I respect all you guys' opinion. We just disagree on some stuff. Black Trump, what did you just say, bro? I mean, you mean tell me that if I know a white man is calling these black girls the N-word, I'm going to hire him or advocate for him to coach the Los Angeles Lakers because I want power?
Yes.
Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing, man? And so, listen, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I couldn't disagree more. And listen, even if I give you that a little bit, which I'm not, why would you ever have to do those things and then turn around and down talk a black coach, right? You get on the black coach, right? You go to the front office and you get this black man fired, right? You go trade these black players, right? Like, why are you not advocating for some of these black lead assistant coaches, right? I mean, what are we doing? And so, I mean, if everything is based on power, then I'm going to question your integrity and your morals. I have to, because money and power ain't everything, right? It's not. It can't be. Now, does it play a factor? Yes. I'm not that naive to say it doesn't. But when you sell your soul and you're bought and paid for because you want power, then, bro, it's like now you're going down a slippery slope. But I'm going to cut it right there. And again, Roger, thank you, bro. This is a great platform, fellas. And I like the fact that we can talk, chat, communicate, and disagree and have a cordial conversation. But yeah, what'd you say, bro? Before I go,
I got a quick question for you, Mr. Moss. I wanted to know,
yes, sir.
how long you been listening to Roger, and how did you find the platform, and what brought you up today?
Honestly, man, this is my first time ever listening to Roger. And I was hovering over the stream, and what's crazy is Black Euro Strikes. Like, I've seen him talk on other basketball platforms. Like he said, he knew me, and I recognized his voice. And so I clicked on it, and then I saw the topic, and then I just clicked on it, and then I saw the link. And listen, man, like, I embrace these conversations. I think I articulate pretty well. And so I'm not afraid to come up here and just talk, but I like this platform, bro. And I like how he runs it. It's structured, it's disciplined, but that's how I came across it, to be honest with you.
I've heard Mr. Maz and Tiki TV. I've heard some legendary basketball debates.
You already know that.
Some of the most entertaining debates about sports, particularly about basketball, you'll ever hear.
Hey, it will get you through an 8-hour work shift, Black Trump. if you guys want to be entertained, bro, and y'all need to pass time on like a road trip or you're at work and you got your earbuds in, go check it out. But Roger, report. Thank you, buddy. And I'll see you guys soon, man.
Please,
thanks for coming up, Mr. Mom.
Thanks for coming up.
You put the link and put that link in the chat. And please, the next time you publish on, please
definitely
talk
put that
about
link in
how
the
Kobe.
chat.
Please talk about how Kobe is the real GOAT. Thank you, brother.
I can't do that, but I mean,
He
yeah.
can't do that. He get close, but he can't do that.
That's called
I
integrity.
mean, bro,
That's called
Kobe is kind of up
integrity.
there, bro. He is a GOAT, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He may not be your GOAT, but he is a GOAT, bro.
Well, shout out to Mr. Moss. I definitely appreciate him coming and joining the conversation. And I appreciate that integrity he just showed at the very end when he was asked that crazy question about promoting Kobe as the GOAT. So he obviously got some integrity to him. Which we should all be happy about.
We know who the TV. You know, this is always a discomforting discussion because I love Kobe, Miss Black Trump. I love Kobe. I don't want to say anything negative.
No, you don't.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem dumping on LeBron for a lot of reasons. But I love Kobe. But I can only take
LeBron is saying shit hate around here.
that so far.
Man, y'all hate LeBron. Y'all hate him to y'all souls.
Hey, bro. That's sensitive.
Let me say this real quick, and you got it. You after this. Respectfully, Black Guru, you call Kobe Shazam, man.
Shazam is a great hero.
Shazam
is a great hero. He's just not Superman.
He's right, bro. The Shazam is basically the amazing, just not Superman guy, bro.
He's Superman in training.
Okay, well, let me do this. Great Black Reset, say what you're going to say. I'm going to close it out because we passed the hour mark and I see what's going on here. So we about to close this one down.
Okay, I got the perfect closing statement. Listen, y'all, we supposed to uplift black men over here. Sometimes we got to give a brother grace to make his moves before we do this thing. I think this man is making a play to purchase the Grizzlies. He talked down on him. He ain't got no scruples. He said some of the wrong things. I agree. But when he purchased the Grizzlies 2-3 years from now, I'm bringing all this back up. And I'm putting charges on all you niggas. You're going to be playing basketball in Pelican Bay.
and we saw what happened to you about 10 minutes later.
Great Black Reset. Great Black Reset.
Yes, sir.
Today, brother. I stood with you today.
Thank you, bro.
I did stand with you. Niggas talking about morals. I don't know what that means. In integrity, I know what power means.
I'm gonna say shout out to LeBron when he bought the Grizzlies, because you know what? If that does happen, I would appreciate it at least because he is a brother. So I would at least appreciate it, and I'd be like, okay, I ain't see it, but LeBron made the move. Okay, I just didn't see it at the time, and I'm gonna apologize to Great Black Reset since LeBron is your guy. I'm gonna apologize to you when he make that purchase. I don't see it happening, but if it does, I'm going to apologize about this one, brother. Real talk. I'm going to give you up to 5 years. I'm going to give you up to 5 years for this.
He's a Laker. I'm a Laker fan. He's my guy. I got to defend him even when he's wrong. I got to.
I get you. And that's why I'm giving you up to 5 years just to let Bryce get in the league, get a little playing time in. Then I'm assuming LeBron going to retire for sure after that. And hopefully he don't get hurt or nothing. Anything causing him to retire previous to that, because I personally believe that's what his goal is, to get 1 year in with Bryce, and then he gonna shut it down after that. But we gonna shut it down, y'all. I think it's been a great discussion. A lot of good points were made. I'm just gonna say, LeBron, sometimes you got to remember who you are. And no, we don't want to like jump on black men over here. We do like to uphold black men, but we also got to hold black men accountable from time to time, and we're gonna have to do that too. So I'm gonna say LeBron forgot who he was. If LeBron would have remembered how great he is, if LeBron would have remembered how important he is, if LeBron would have remembered how much weight his words have, then we don't have no problem. So LeBron forgot who he was and forgot that he was the greatest person. Now, this ain't no diss to those people on that podcast, but I don't know none of y'all. And I know a lot of people don't know none of y'all. At the end of the day, LeBron was the biggest thing on that podcast, and LeBron should have realized that. Sometimes black men got to remember their place. And sometimes it is ahead of other people you happen to be around. And I think LeBron forgot that. This ain't no diss. It's just me keeping it real. Hey, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of y'all day. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.